Avenue in Munster celebrates Divine Liturgy every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. We are Eastern Rite Catholics in union with the Pope, the Bishop of Rome. All Catholics who celebrate Divine Liturgy or Mass with us fulfill their Holy Day and Sunday obligations as they do in their own churches. Join us in person this coming Sunday to find out the beauty of a Byzantine Catholic Divine Liturgy at St. Nicholas Church.
But it's time. You gotta catch up.
Yeah. I'll catch up with you. I'll be right back.
I'll see you in a minute.
Anything else? Yeah.
Well, what's up, boy?
Hey, Ryan. Not tonight, man. Not tonight. Oh, yeah. You guys are right. Hey, come on. Let's go. Come in.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
Good Monday morning to you, Region. There's a reason we call Mondays the winter of Chuck's discontent, and one just has to look out their windows or go outside, and you'll see why we call it that. I'm here in the old, new old WJOB bunker with producer Lynette. How are you this morning, Lynette?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's that? Are we what? Oh, I could hear you. Was that? I heard you.
That's because you're in the same room. You could hear her.
Well, no. I mean, I could hear her headset. Yeah, we could hear you. Hang on. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, you just got to talk. Bring it up to your mouth.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I hear you. Go ahead.
It's just I don't see. Oh,
No,
there we
you're
go.
up.
There
yeah,
you are.
Got to get it right up on there.
Well, it's showing up on audio levels.
There you go. Okay, so we are lucky today, Lynette. You know why?
Why is that?
We are so lucky. We are joined. I can't believe we got him. We are joined by WJLB Friday host Bob Starkey, star of the Empty Seat with Bob. Where I don't know how we got him. I don't know how I got so lucky to bring in the Friday host on a Monday, but he's here
at 7 degrees on a Monday.
7 degrees. I thought it was 4 degrees. I am so honored to have you here this morning, Friday host Bob. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It probably is 4 here. It was 7
it's
in
4
Dyer,
in the studio,
but it's 4.
Oh,
but
right.
it's
4 it might be 4 in the studio.
4 in the studio. Well, we're further north right now than where you and I live, so that makes sense.
Okay, so you know what go ahead.
I was just gonna say the roads stink, so why don't you?
Well,
get to that?
here's what I was gonna say. No, the local roads, the roads that your guys are up early salting, the roads that my guys in St. John, they're doing a great job. What sucks is the roads that you pay the highest gas taxes in the country for are the ones that suck. I'm not making any accusations, but those guys don't have to run for election. Because again, you know, like going back to who was that, Mayor Blandick? I forget who was it. You don't plow, you lose the elections.
You do.
Yeah, that's how it goes. If you don't keep the streets clean.
You do. The on and off ramps at the on ramp at Calumet and the off ramp at 41 were atrocious.
See, here's the thing: you should know better. You don't take the highway in this kind of weather.
Well,
you can't get there from here. You gotta take the side roads because they are actually plowed. But speaking of traffic, nice segue. Taking a look at the roads. Roads are passable. We had just sort of a dusting of snow here. I know there's some lake effect to our east, but for the most part, things just passable here, just a little slippery. If you are one of those few people that are working today and heading into the city, there is an accident on the Dan Ryan. The left 2 express lanes are blocked at 47. So if you're heading into downtown now, I would say use the local lanes. Not much traffic backing up because this is going to be a light travel day because it is the holiday where we honor Dr. Martin Luther King. So other than that, not much else going on in the roadways. Everything else looking good otherwise. But the big story is the weather. So, Lynette, how are things looking out there?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 7 degrees with highs of 9 and lows of 0. It's going to be windy and frigid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. It's going to be dangerously cold, and then later tonight should be partly cloudy and frigid with life-threatening cold air. Please protect your skin, exposed pipes, and other items sensitive to cold. And then for tomorrow, on Tuesday, we'll be having highs of 24 and lows of 20. Should be turning cloudy and not as cold. And then Wednesday, we'll be having highs of 29 and lows of 13 with a couple of flurries in the morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy.
I always wonder where the people that write all that come from. Like, oh, they always come up with these great adjectives and stuff like life-threatening cold air.
Yeah.
Not just regular cold air.
Not just
life-threatening kind. But, okay, so... there's a lot to get into today. We are going to have, we're going to be joined later today by my old friend, Larry the K, who many of you longtime listeners of WGOB remember, did a lot of different stuff here on the airwaves. He is a teacher, so this is like one of his days off. I said, well, come in next day you have off, and it happened to work out today. So he'll be here later. One of the things I want to do today, I was thinking about this, Bob, is I wanted to do, now that you're back, you're feeling better, everybody's back at 110%, I wanted to do predictions for the year. I started off with, I was thinking about, like, I wanted to do, what I really like to do here is, so often people are like, oh, you didn't say that. So we're going to have it, we're going to say it live on YouTube. We're going to predict things. I'm going to predict things like the South Shore ridership numbers, because you made me think of that the other day.
I brought all 10 fingers.
You brought all,
I'm ready to go.
Okay, well, I'm maybe 12, so that's why I might need a couple toes. But So we're going to do a lot of predictions. We're going to do that. We're going to talk about, will the Bears come to the region? We're going to do all kinds of predictions. We're going to write them down. We're going to
probably will now. They're not doing much.
Well,
right
I mean,
now.
They're probably still in bed. I mean, not today, but it's cold. But at some point, will they come? So that'll be the kind of stuff we'll be talking about later. We're going to do predictions. We're going to bookmark them, and I'm going to revisit next year and see how many we got right and what we were right, what we were wrong about. When that, you get to play as well if you'd like. So do I see a whole bunch of phone calls already?
You do.
Man, you guys are supposed to be in bed.
And as they call in, for those of you watching on the YouTubes here, this is clearly the Gray Flannel Power Hour here on WJOB.
Well,
we're blending into the wall.
There's a certain point. I remember at a certain point you dress for the weather. It's like, again, I'm not going to work today. I don't know what you're doing today, but it's like we're dressing for the weather. I'm not dressing to impress. I'm dressing to survive. I'm not dressing to impress. I'm dressing to survive the dangerous cold air.
Almost near life-threatening.
Near life-threatening. So you guys don't want to hear us. Let's hear from you guys. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, the Bears lost, but it was close.
Good morning to you too,
I
Walt.
was afraid that.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Good. I said good morning to you too, Walt. That's how you just
powered in there.
The Bears lost. You're right. We were going to try to soften the blow a little bit, Walt. But go ahead. Let's talk.
Well, when you suffer 3 picks, it's hard to win. But they kept it. Despite that, they kept it close. They lost in overtime, and all the commentaries by the football experts said next year is going to be better. And so, but tonight, the Indiana Hoosiers are going to play for the national championship against University of Miami, and it's at 6:30 p.m. tonight, and it can be seen on ESPN. How about that?
So, Walt, I know people want to talk about the Bears. I did watch the game, because I know everybody want to talk about it. I was debating where I wanted to go with this, but one of my opinion, my gut was always, one of the things about the Bears is they're always going to give you that taste of hope. Like, hey, we might actually pull it off. We came back from 15 down. We're getting over. They give you that false sense of hope, and then it gets snatched away by.
Oh, you got to be quicker than that.
You got to be quicker. So that's sort of always my opinion. You try not to get too, it's like, okay, the Bears are doing good, they're doing good, and then they snatch it away from you. So again, it's like
quite literally 3 times.
Quite literally. So, but Walt, I know
sounds like Chicago to me.
Right. I mean, again, that's just you live here long enough. You know how it's going to go. I was surprised. I was surprised that it was as close a game as it was. I was surprised it came down to the wire the way it did. But I mean, again, I was thinking with the home field advantage, the weather. Again, at that point though, it's so cold. It's really no advantage for anybody. It's just I've worked those games when it was bitterly cold at the lakefront. It's just everybody's miserable. It's just tough to play. So, okay, well, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this, though. So we've got we've got proposals on the table. I was watching over the weekend. Mayor Melton proposed their 3 locations. So we've got Buffington Harbor, we've got next to the Hard Rock, and we've got Miller Beach. So he's getting very serious about it. This is, it's like one of those things. The proposals are getting real. We're talking about the tax benefits. What are your thoughts?
Well, if it comes to Indiana, it's probably going to go into Hammond. I mean, if just putting the CEO cap for the Bears on my head, I would have to ask myself, do you want to put it in Gary with the Gary's reputation for crime and corruption and so forth, or do you want to put it in Hammond, which is close to the border and doesn't have Gary's sad reputation? So I'd say if it's going to come to Indiana, it's coming to Indiana. It's coming to Hammond.
Okay. Anything else on your mind this morning?
Well, I just wanted to talk a little more about the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was watching News Nation this morning, and they had a young fella on who was really a brilliant commentator, and he mentioned that coming into the season, the Indiana Hoosiers had one of the worst loss records in college football, and that got all turned around by this new coach at Indiana, and apparently instead of looking for the top players, he looked for the hard workers, and he concentrated on building a winning team rather than picking the top players. What do you think of that?
I mean, it makes sense. I guess that's sort of the thing is, one of the things that you see, again, I'm the last person to do sports analysis, but when you get people that sort of come in and, they're sort of, what's a good word, the diva-like behavior, you can't really build them. If people come in and they think they know everything, you're not going to do much to teach them or to build a good team. But if people come in willing to put in the work, you can work with that. It's just like in the private sector. Walt, I always hear from people that run businesses. Look, I don't care if you know what you're doing or not. As long as you're willing to pay attention and put in the work, we'll teach you the rest. You know what I mean? That's something I hear I tell my son that all the time. So just, as long as you show up ready to work, they will teach you what you need to do. And that's the thing, is some people just don't have that work ethic anymore. So,
well, talking about work situation, yesterday Chicago Sun-Times, they had a very good piece headlined, "Manufacturing Training Boosts Participants' Economic Mobility. Westside Workforce Program has helped place most of its trainees into well-paid union jobs." And I'm glad to see this trend away from college.
Right. No, you're seeing the numbers are starting to. I was reading something similar, and they were talking about the numbers. The gap between a college education and sort of a trade has diminished to the point where they're essentially saying that the financial benefits of the debt that you will get into to go into college is no longer makes sense the way it did decades ago. So it's sort of this idea where is it. But I also look at that as, look, there's nothing, there's certain fields that need a college education, and we want to continue that. But also at some point, and I'm sure you remember these statistics, Walt, going back to like the 70s, when the government got involved with education is when the cost of education exploded, right? So
exploded, right.
If we can get back to
that
point.
You know how much it cost my parents when I was a Purdue undergrad back in the early mid '60s.
Like 50. Go ahead.
One year, $1,200. That was books, tuition, living expenses, and I worked in the cafeteria kitchens for pocket money. $1,200 tops. That was everything.
Right, and that's annually. One of the things is that again, that's one of the things where. You're going to see that there's going to be this push back towards trades and not getting into that debt. I mean, I'm not going to be one of those parents that, my son's getting ready to graduate. I'm not pushing him to go to college unless it makes sense for him. I don't want to start his life off in a bunch of debt. So, I think that the idea that we've gotten away from that the stigma of not going to college, and this idea of you get into the trade. They even like the commercials you hear on WJOB, you get paid to be an apprentice, and you don't have that debt. And I think it makes sense for a lot of people. So, Walt, I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna tease a story, and I want you if you're around, call back later, because I think we're missing the big story here, Walt. There's a story coming out that the Bank of England must plan for financial crisis being triggered by an official announcement confirming the existence of aliens by the United States government. The Bank of England is convinced that President Trump is going to confirm the existence of aliens, and their people behind the scenes are planning for the financial ramifications of that. They said these events could impact the economy. So I want to get into that later if you're listening, because, again, such a bizarre thing to say, well, not only is the United States going to tell us aliens exist, but it's also going to have financial impacts across the planet. So
maybe Washington's trying to scare the Europeans to sell Greenland to the United States.
No, here's what he's going to say. This is going to be the genius. Trump's going to say, look, the alien base under Greenland, you guys get out of there. We're going to get in. We're going to take care of them. We'll take care of it. So that's what he's going to say. There's a base under Greenland. So, hey, Walt, thank you for the call. Appreciate you getting up early and listening to us, because we got a whole bunch of people that want to talk. So let's go ahead and take the next caller. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Just takes a second. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Chuck and Lynette, good morning.
Oh, Friday Bob is here.
As far as I'm concerned, Chuck, there's nobody else in that studio except you and Lynette.
Ooh.
Oh.
It is so good to have you back.
Why is
Chuck,
that? Yes, sir.
Friday's show had to be top 5 worst show ever on WJOB, possibly top 3.
But you did listen.
But you listened.
But you listened.
So listen to the whole thing. Okay.
Only to inspire me to do better in my life. Chuck, can you do me a favor?
So what I heard is not only did you listen, but we were inspirational. That is fantastic. Inspirational Friday.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna.
Sorry,
I'm gonna.
done.
Go ahead. I have thoughts, but go ahead.
Chuck, may I speak with you?
Yes, sir. You may.
Chuck, can you giggle endlessly and possibly for about 20 minutes straight let us watch you put on your makeup?
I could. I could. If that's where you want this show to get, if that's what we need to get you to tune in on Monday mornings. You put makeup on Friday, Bob? I missed that.
I did.
I missed that part. Okay.
Giggle for me in a stupid fashion. Giggle.
I cannot. Go ahead, Bob. I think he's talking to you.
Are you talking to me?
I don't know who's giggling.
No.
So
Chuck.
Here is the thing. Can I come to his defense for a minute? I always remember coming back in the studio. I remember the first couple weeks I did radio here. Our old friend Harlow had me guest on his afternoon show, and at some point they said, "Hey, Harlow's sick. Can you fill in?" I said, "For how long?" They said, "Well, indefinitely." And I had no idea what I was doing. I had no plans. I came in here with stacks and stacks of paper to tell stories. I remember at some point somebody called in. It might have been Wald. It might have been Mad Mac. They said, "We're doing this show." Me and one of the other producers that were here back then, and they said, "What the hell is this?" They said, "What are you doing? This isn't you." I go, "Okay." They said, "You're trying to be something you're not. You're trying to do like Eric and Kathy in the mornings. That's not you. Just be you." And then ever since then, again, it's you learn. You're going to have a few rough shows, and that's what we're here for. You're going to learn how to do radio. You're going to learn your place in the world. And that's how it goes. You're going to have some crappy shows as you figure it out. I've been doing it for how long now? And, hopefully you guys enjoy listening. But it takes a while. And you've got younger people in here. They're learning how to do it as well. Everybody's kind of learning. So, yeah, there's going to be rough shows, but it is what it is,
Chuck, crappy doesn't begin to describe that show on Friday.
The nice thing about WJOB is we have a variety of people. They do different shows. Like, tomorrow's show is going to be completely different from today's show. Wednesday's show is going to be different from Tuesday's show. Again, they're learning. They're learning. Give them a break. Let them learn. And, that's how it goes. They'll figure it out. Let them figure out go ahead.
Ask, God, I hate to even mention his name, but ask Starkey to stick to his conservative thoughts and roots, and that when somebody brings up something totally liberal and woke, to reach down and defend what's right in this country instead of just going along with her indoctrination.
I don't remember that one. What did I skip the rock on? I'd have to watch it again.
You know, if I had to Bob, if I had to replay it, it would be nails on a chalkboard.
Not even
Terrible.
The inspirational part?
Chuck, so good to have you back. Chuck, Lynette, have a great day.
Man. Thank you. Well, I mean, again, this is the thing about radio is that they're gonna call you out. And this is what I've said from the beginning. I always tell people, Lynette, this is important for you to hear this as well. If you are not genuine, if you don't, what do they say? Bring the receipts. If you do not come on these airwaves and bring the receipts, and you start making stuff up, I remember having people on with me that didn't know what they're talking about. They got called out. The phone lines were lit up. They said everything you just said was wrong. So I mean, that's what, like, bring the receipts if you're gonna come on these airwaves.
I'm going to have to go back and listen because I don't remember.
I didn't think it was that bad. It was a nice Friday show. It was not what we do on Mondays, but that's how you find your place. So yeah. I didn't think it was bad. I watched. I called in. I was, I don't know if Lynette, you saw it. I found out. I wake up and I see him on Friday. I said, "What?" I called Adriana. I said, "You stole my man. Like, you stole. Like, what do you? Where's?"
They were fighting in the parking lot.
Right. It was like I was going to take my shoes off and then take my earrings off. So you took my man. I had no idea, but that's how I found out. So, go ahead. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. We're going to take a break. So go ahead. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Are you there? He fell asleep. The show was so boring. The caller fell asleep.
Wasn't an inspirational show, was it?
It was not inspirational. Okay, why don't we? You have? Yeah, let's power through some calls. We'll take a break. Go ahead. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hit the button. Is it?
I heard the beep.
Okay, there we go. Is it sounding better today, Mike?
Is it? Sound better? Look, I can't make no comment.
Okay, well,
okay. But,
I don't like the high angle. To be honest, I like the low angle.
I was gonna start out and say good morning, Starsky and Hutch. But I was just thinking, wait a minute. There's three of you in the studio with an empty chair. I'm gonna call you Dukes of Hazzard because it's two of you. And then what was that? I was young.
Bo Duke will be in here shortly.
That. Yeah, but the girl, what's her name? Daisy May or something?
Daisy Duke. Daisy Duke. Come on.
Daisy Duke. So see, you got Starsky, but I still call you Starsky and Hutch. But I'll have three predictions in a second. I'm going to say, but that empty chair. I got a question about that empty chair.
It's foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is what kind of shirt is that person over there in that empty chair wearing?
I hope he's
they're at Kohl's right now.
I hope he's stopping to get a gray flannel. Yeah. So when that's wearing gray, we're all wearing gray.
Again is, rest in peace, the preacher. I never met him. I heard all about him and about some kind of big cigars, but.
Well, that was Big George's.
I don't know if you guys ever saw. I don't know if you guys ever saw him.
So I will
how
say.
How did he dress?
So he dressed.
Because there was no TV, in that studio when he was on the air. But how did he dress?
He dressed like he was from Hessville. How about that? He dressed like every guy I know in Hessville. He's a jeans and T-shirt guy. He was a laid back guy. Like everybody in radio, he wore the free T-shirts and stuff like that. He was a jeans and T-shirt guy. Laid back kind of guy. I will say the big cigar.
Did he wear a hat? Did he wear hats?
No, he didn't wear. I don't think he wore a hat. I don't remember wearing a hat. No, he just dressed like a region guy. Jeans and T-shirt.
Hessville. So preacher must have looked like MX then, huh?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like he used to wear. Used to wear a leather jacket or he used to wear jackets a lot, stuff like that. But I will say though, the cigars did come from Big George. And I was very honored after George passed away. His wife gave me his humidor, so I have Big George's humidor proudly displayed in my living room. It's a piece of Big George and a piece of the WJOB family that I look at and I think of fondly. So I still have a whole bunch of Big George cigars to smoke. With anybody that wants to share one someday. No, well, I guess you'd have your own, but
I met Big George a long time ago at the Blue Top, and I didn't know that was him because he was in that wheelchair, electric wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it. When I was videotaping, every time I'm videotaping, he would go past it. And I'm thinking, this guy just wants to get in my picture.
That's what he
does.
does.
Then I started meeting him. And then I didn't know the guy that was interviewing him was, what's his name, Rick and Cott. You know, Rick? Mm-hmm. And that tall guy. Well, finally I met them 2 years later down the road. But then there's a club or some kind of like bar club by my house right here on 169th, and that's where he goes all the time and sits. And I used to stop in there and talk to him. But enough on that stuff.
Why don't you give me some? We got to take a break. So why don't you give me some predictions? I'm going to write them down, and then we're going to take a break. So what are your predictions?
First prediction is the Bears are going to play in Soldier Field next year.
So they're well. I think that's expected, right? I mean, it's going to be at least a couple years. So are they not moving? Are they not moving at all, or just not next year?
They're going to play. They're going to have to stay there and play another year in the Soldier Field.
And then what?
So everybody might as well just. And then the second prediction is the old studio. You guys are still going to be in the old studio for another year.
Bears not moving.
Or probably longer.
Okay, and then WJOB not moving. Okay, so far nobody's doing anything. Okay, what else? What's your third one?
And the third thing is maybe they're going to tear out the railroad tracks, the new extension, and make it into a walk trail, since it's not getting any use yet.
Oh, that's a bold prediction. Monon corridor ripped up.
I don't know what you call. Yeah, I mean it's just sitting there. It ain't doing nothing, you know. Might as well tear the tracks out and pave it. Then you might see one or two bicyclists.
No, you know what? It's a government thing. So probably they'd rip it up, and then 5 years from now they'd be like, "Hey, we need to put a train there," and then they rebuild it again. And that's actually literally happened.
Can I say one more?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing? I'm gonna let you guys go so you guys can talk and everything. But I got 3 more restaurants to do. Saturday I went to way out to Cedar Lake, but now I need somebody to give me. I'm gonna go to a restaurant. Like I want a restaurant right there in downtown Crown Point. So I need somebody to give me
a place to
nice sit-down restaurant.
Breakfast though, so you want to go there for breakfast, downtown Crown Point.
Sit down and have breakfast because I'm getting the same thing, and I only got 3 more to go, and then I can do my survey.
Okay, fantastic. I'll think about that. I don't know where.
Yeah. So
if anybody has ideas for breakfast in downtown Crown Point for the Big Trucker Mike breakfast survey.
And then another thing is that guy from Hobart calls in. What is his name? Mark or something? He lives in Hobart. My wife was mentioning me. I think there was a restaurant right in downtown next to that theater called the Spot Restaurant. If it's still there, I need to know because I think I'm going to try that one.
Okay, he's probably listening. So if Mark, if you're listening, send me a message. I'll get it to Trucker Mike. There's a lot of great little restaurants in that area.
Oh yeah, but you guys have a good day, and because of the snow and the cold weather, everybody be careful going out the door. Shovel the snow. You know, if you take your doggy out, you know, watch the paws so that snow don't get stuck between their paws, you know, and everybody's clear your windows on your car so you can see all around you so you drive safely around in this area, and then don't eat any yellow snow.
Don't eat the yellow snow. Okay. Fantastic tips. I appreciate it. We got to take a break. So callers, we got some boats. We got a boat of boats. We're going to take a break. We're going to do traffic and weather, and we're going to take your calls, and maybe Bob will finally get a chance to talk. So we'll be back with more after this.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between 2 people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Go ahead. We can do it live.
Do it live. We're going to do it live.
That's fine. Sorry, advertisers. Whatever so I don't know. Okay, why don't we take a look at traffic and weather? So traffic, things are looking good. Obviously, it's a Monday holiday, so things are going to be a little light. The roads are, if you haven't left, the roads are passable in this area. We got sort of a dusting of snow. Roads really weren't slippery or anything like that. They just, take your time. If you're heading into the city, there was an earlier accident inbound Dan Ryan at 47th. In the express lanes, looks like that's cleared up, but I would probably say just to be safe, stick with the local lanes if you're heading downtown. Other than that, things looking good on the area roadways, so not much to report there. The main story here is the weather. Lynette, how are things looking outside?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 5 degrees with highs of 9 and lows of 0. It's going to be windy and frigid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. It's going to be dangerously cold. And then later tonight should be partly cloudy and frigid with life-threatening cold air. Please protect your skin, exposed pipes, and other items sensitive to the cold. And then for tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll be having highs of 24 and lows of 20. Should be turning cloudy and not as cold. And then Wednesday, we'll be having highs of 29 and lows of 13 with a couple of flurries in the morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy.
You got to protect those pipes. So we are here. It's a Monday morning, the winter of Chuck's Discontent. I'm honored to be joined by our Friday host, Bob Starkey. We're taking your phone calls. What do you? So it's hard to tell from here. We've got what? One more phone call. Why don't we take that phone call and then Bob and I are going to talk for a minute. So good morning, caller. You're on the air.
How you boys doing?
We're doing
good.
fantastic.
How are you?
So, how are you this morning?
You've already topped Friday's show, by the way.
Yeah. See, this is again. Bob's like, why are they picking on me? This is good. You got to get it out of the way.
Say that.
And I'm just saying, Bob's like, why?
Bob didn't say that.
You got to get it out of the way. Let them pick on you a little bit. Let them tough
I
love.
don't think we're picking on Bob, and I'll give Lynette all the credit in the world for a couple reasons. Keeps the train on the tracks. But when you ask Lynette a question, and she doesn't really have an opinion or knowledge of it, she goes, "Oh, I don't really know about that." Say, your two co-hosts on Friday. Experts on nothing. Holy a moly! I couldn't. I felt like I lost like 3 levels of college in it.
Oh,
what happened?
We didn't do anything. We did not.
I can confirm we didn't touch a.
She wasn't touching anything. She did not hang
thing.
up. She did not hang up on you. But okay, call back later.
But let me say on this, there is. Is he back?
No,
we dropped.
We lost connection.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so I'm sitting there with Adriana and Joe, and clearly I'm the grandpa in the room.
I was gonna say, right, you're the old man.
The old man in the room. And it is interesting to hear the you guys, there's no offense be taken to this. It's interesting to hear the opinions of folks who haven't had a lifetime of opinion-generating events.
Haven't had time to form an opinion, right?
Well, I mean, they do have opinions, and it's from whatever perspective or angle in life that they're at,
right?
And I was sitting there, and I was trying to think, 25 plus years ago, would that have been my opinion, or is it now that I'm mid 40s, parent of the world, all these things? What changed?
There is an old philosophy that I hear all the time when I argue with people, and it's when you're young, I'm trying to remember, what is it? When you're young, if you're not a liberal, you don't have a heart. But as you get older, if you're not a conservative, you don't have a brain, which is, it's offensive to everybody. But the idea is you start off life sort of liberal, everything's great, we're going to help everybody. And then as you, in my case, pay lots of taxes and see the way of the world, you become more conservative. It's not to say you go from Democrat to Republican, and just you see more of the world. You start to realize, and this is what I tell when I argue with 21-year-old communists on Facebook all weekend, which is literally what I did, and they threatened me in the middle of the night. They say, I can't wait till the boomers die. I'm like, well, I'm not a boomer, but whatever. The point is, these young people that don't understand the world. I always say, I wish the world, when we talk about Bernie Sanders, I said, I wish the world worked the way that you think it does, but it doesn't. It doesn't. You can't Again, Quality Leering Center is a perfect example of that. USAID is a perfect example of that. It'd be great. It'd be great if you could just create a pile of money and give it to the people that need it, but that's not the way it works. Even you go to any country in the world where there's aid, what happens? You create like this, black market for the aid. You've got, we send aid to whatever Africa, and then you create these, kingpins, these warlords that take all the aid. I mean, this is the way of the world. If you have, as we were saying a lot during in Minneapolis, if you don't have guardrails, if you let your emotions drive your funding mechanism without guardrails, and all I tell people, I haven't said this in a while, if you have questions about how much corruption there is, go on the PPP site. You can search by zip code. Look on your zip code. You search by zip code and see how many of your neighbors were independent hairdressers, independent caregivers, independent this. How many of your neighbors got six figures in their, for their household because somebody came to them and said, hey, just sign this form and you'll get a whole bunch of money. And whenever we create piles of money based on urgency and emergencies, you create a pile of money with no guardrails, everyone who can will take advantage of it. And that's the reality of the world. It's great to feel good and think you're helping people, but as long as you create piles of money with no guardrails, and it doesn't matter, you complain about the Pentagon, sure. The Pentagon is the biggest, government agency. It's the biggest pile of money, hasn't been audited in 50 years, can't be audited. Sure, pick something. There's fraud there, right? I mean, that's the thing. And when I sit here, and I mean, even right now, everybody this weekend's complaining about NIPSCO. Your NIPSCO bills have doubled. There's a whole, we want to get into that later. There's this whole coalition that's forming. NIPSCO, highest rates in the state. NIPSCO, people literally telling me they want to move because their NIPSCO bill is so high. They're sitting here saying, I'm sitting here in the dark and 65 degrees and I still have a $500 NIPSCO bill. What's going on here? People, and I said, at some point, you will reach that breaking point and you'll say, look, enough is enough. But you're not there yet. You're not there yet. And when you are, we're ready. I'm ready to help you and we'll make that happen. But right now, you're just in the complaining phase. When you're ready, we're done, it's time to do something, then let me know. We'll be here. So go ahead. My soapbox is all. Go ahead. Carry on. What are we doing? Are we doing a morning show? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's pent up from the weekend.
But I will say on Friday, we were talking about the Bears Stadium and where it may go, and I think youth is wasted on the young because their vantage point was of an activity of things to do,
right?
And I looked at it just from my worldview of who's going to pay for this, what's it going to cost, but then what are the economic benefits, and that's just where I am. Maybe in 20 years I may have a completely different view on it. And so it was interesting to be the oldest in the room, hearing opinions on the exact same topic, and I left thinking on some of the topics that, am I just not fun anymore?
So
am I just
right, because you're the one that pays the taxes. As soon as I heard about the Bears Stadium, the first thing that came to mind was that this state spent $100 million on a roof that doesn't work in Indianapolis. So when you ask me, bread and circuses for one, but then for two, this is what we do. I mean, and every stadium has cost more than the last. So like Las Vegas just built the most expensive stadium ever. I mean, like when the Bears first talked about going to Arlington Heights, I said, it's like a $5 billion project. Turned out it was like a $10 billion project. It's like, oh, we just need $1 billion. Okay, let me soapbox for a second here. Sorry, I apologize. Second soapbox. Here is, I was at my friend's house this weekend. My friend passed away over the summer. I was his power of attorney. I talked about him a little bit. My friend Henry passed away. I was his power of attorney. I was his advocate. I was trying to here's a man who spent 50 years paying taxes, worked his whole life, and then he had a stroke. He's bedridden. The only thing that worked on him was his right hand, his right arm, and he needed services. And I was every week I was going down to these different agencies, trying to advocate, trying to get them on a waiting list, trying to, do all this stuff, do all this paperwork, go back, do the paperwork again. And here's the thing that bothers me is that my friend Henry and probably thousands of people like him are on waiting lists right now to get services, to get help. So there's no money, there's not $1,000 or $500, whatever it was for Henry. right? I had to fight for 6 months. He passed away before I barely get him on a waiting list, didn't get any services, paid taxes his whole life. The Bears show up, and we got $1 billion. Like, we got $1 billion for you. Like, explain to me how it is that a man who paid taxes for 50 years, when he needs services, when he needs you to give back a little bit of what he put into the system his whole life, sorry, there's no money for you. But when the Bears show up, oh yeah, roll out the red carpet. Here's $1 billion. What do you want? Explain to me how the average person listening right now, it will be you someday. You will be the one that's like, hey, I need some services. Just like we talk about Social Security. It's like, I paid into that, and then you don't get it back. But when the Bears show up, sure, whatever. Yes, sir. $1 billion, no problem. I'll get the checkbook. Explain to me how we live in a country where you could pay taxes your whole life and you don't get anything back, and then they show up, sure, no problem. Explain that to me. I don't get it. Anyway, okay. Why don't we take some calls? I mean, if I'm wrong, you know the number. If I'm wrong, 219-845-1100. I mean, I've lived through it. We've got people, Trucker Mike called in. He had his medical issues. They were fighting to get services. Vinny, they were fighting to get services. How is it these guys pay into the system their whole life, and then when it comes time to collect, they go, sorry, you don't qualify. And then the Bears, $1 billion, no problem. Let's take a call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. I apologize. Go ahead. Let's take a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Am I wrong that, even you, like the veterans, I'm heartbroken when I hear about veterans that can't get services. They're fighting. They have to jump through all these hoops to get services. But, hey, man, the Bears, no problem. We got $1 billion for it. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing either. It happens in Illinois. It happens in Indiana. You know what I mean? We pay into these systems, and there's nothing for you. You pay the highest taxes. You pay a high NIPSCO bill. Sorry, nothing for you. But, hey, the Bears, no problem. We'll get the checkbook. Tell me I'm wrong.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I apologize. How are you?
Well, it's a special day for me.
Yeah, why is that?
And I know people going to say, there you go again.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Today is the Martin Luther King, not his birthday was January the 15th, but they celebrating it like they do most time on the Monday, which was today. They had all kinds of services in Gary yesterday, and they will have many more today. Martin Luther King Jr. There's a lady, great lady, right here in the city of Gary. She had a big thing yesterday. Her name is Juniper Hall.
Yeah.
She is the daughter of Katie Hall.
Right.
Katie Hall was the one that went to Washington and was able to get a holiday after Dr. Martin Luther King.
Right.
They were tried for many years, but she got it. And you know who the president was that signed that? I bet you probably already know.
It wasn't Johnson, was it?
No, it was Ronald Reagan.
Reagan. Okay. See, there you go.
See, I know people are going to say, there you go again. Yes, I'm going there because right now, I've heard several callers call in, and they know the day is Martin Luther King's birthday. They know that. We're celebrating it. They know that. But they refuse to, because sometimes they don't believe that Martin Luther King they thought he was a communist. The reason they thought he was a communist because he basically was against the war of Lyndon Baines Johnson. He said it was an unjust war, and we shouldn't have been there. And, of course, he was right. I served in that war. Okay. And Dr. Martin Luther King talked about what? What was his speech about? Nonviolence, I believe, wasn't it?
Right. Having it, right. I mean, well, okay, so let's.
That's a good thing. But nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to mention that, well, the people who were following him, they were violence all over. No, hold on. He talked about it doesn't matter, you're black or white, we are in America, and don't go around hating white people. That was his message.
So,
but when do you believe that James Earl Ray was a really guy? He was a trigger man, okay? He got killed in Memphis, right? Now, so I'm just saying that it's interesting that it's not. I would think that hopefully that Juniper Hall maybe next year could come on there.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, and talk about that. She is the daughter of Katie Hall. One was made it happen in there. See, again, if America is going to be what we want it to be, then we have to talk about not talk about it. It's to be about civil rights and stuff like that. talking about being loving one another, black and white. Don't, as Michael Jackson said, it doesn't matter whether you're black or white, you know. And so that's. But again, they would want to bring up things like, you know, this guy, what's happening in Minnesota, what's happening in Minnesota. Well, I don't like what's happening in Minnesota, okay? I don't like what's happening in Minnesota. But I think sometimes what's happening in Minnesota has been escalated by these ICE going in there, going and eating at a guy's place, and then when the place closed, they get out and they take them all and handcuff them and stuff like that. This is terrible. Right now, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I hate to even talk about that. We should be talking about Dr. Martin Luther King, what is good.
Right. So let's talk about that a little bit. I've been doing the Dr. King holiday for a long time here in WGOB, and we always try to talk about him a little bit and just sort of remind people about why you're home today and you know how the holiday came about. We do that. I do that when we can. One of the things that you brought up that's really interesting, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, is, you know, Ron, I always talk about our government and the boogeyman philosophy. And one of the things I never really understood until quite recently was one of the reasons that our government pushed back so hard against Dr. King and the movement was they were convinced, again, people convinced them, Red Scare and all that kind of stuff, that you were going to end up giving African Americans civil rights. When you gave them the right to, you gave them all these rights, they were all going to become communists, right? And that's an interesting thing that I didn't understand until recently, this idea that one of the major pushbacks was, oh, they were all going to become communist. And again, this is that boogeyman philosophy of we always need a boogeyman. We always need to create a boogeyman to justify the means to an end. And it was interesting because I'd never learned that in school, the idea that they said, well, if we give all these people rights, they're just going to become communists. And that was an interesting thing. Or even, you know, you mentioned his assassination, and you can go down. There's a great documentary, I think it was on Netflix or one of those, about his relationship with the FBI and the letters and the blackmail and everything that they tried to do to him. So it's one of those things where I always say, Ron, that, you know, the players may change, but the playbook doesn't. And understanding what the FBI and those agencies did to him is really goes to show you the you know how far they're willing to go to get to somebody. So again, it's not the greatest thing to talk about, but those are important aspects of this because we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, you know, that was, and I was listening yesterday to the radio, and there was a clip that Martin Luther King, he was stabbed. And a little white girl, they say she was 15 years old, she wrote to him, I'm glad you didn't sneeze. Had you sneezed, he would have died. You know, she prayed that he, and so he said, that was very touching to me, that Dr. King, I'm glad you didn't sneeze, because it was so close to artery. If he'd have sneezed, he would have died. So, I mean, here's a man got the Nobel Peace Prize and all that thing. And there are some who saying they should have been out. Now, as we celebrate today, my understanding that the President of the United States is saying if you're going to go to any of these parks and anything, Dr. Martin Luther King, you're going to have to pay on Dr. Martin Luther King thing. Now, this is just terrible. I don't know, and I mean, will he continue to do business today as honoring Dr. Martin Luther King? I doubt it. And so I'm just simply saying that if we want to make America great again, and which I always thought it was great, I think that was just a slogan that he would use. America is a great country. I believe that. I think that right now, it's not always sometimes people on the outside. It's people who are inside who are making it not being as great as it should be. I'm tired of the fighting, and I belong to the NAACP. And it's not just for black people. There are a lot of white people.
No, you know what, Ron? I did a lot of work with them, and I was surprised. You're right. There was a lot of diversity there. I was fortunate enough to meet. I met. You know, I was there. I was helping them. I met Reverend Jesse Jackson. You know, obviously he's not doing well health-wise, but it was an honor to meet him. And I always say it's you know, I don't know if you've met him and talked to him in person, but it's amazing.
I've met Jesse Jackson.
Well, and one of the things I say is, like, regardless of your opinion about the man, and you can have whatever opinion, I looked into his eyes and I said, those eyes have seen history. Do you know what I mean? He was in a wheelchair, and I knelt down, shook his hand, and I was like, the only thing I can think of is those eyes have seen so much history. So much, and so many important things that have happened in this country. It was an honor to have met him, and so, you know. But I digress. Ron, we do have to take a break. Go ahead, finish up, and we got to take a break.
And there was no greater speaker than Martin Luther King. He was a great. I mean, that guy, he knew what he was saying, and he made a lot of sense. And it's unfortunate. I think he died. He was in his 30s. That's unfortunate. Gone too soon. Well, so with that, we'll see. Ron Matlock may have stirred up some stuff today. Maybe this is not good radio to talking about that, you know.
This is the day to do it, though. So, okay, I appreciate the call. You have a good day. We got to take a break. I want to get your thoughts on that. I mean, again, it is, Dr. Martin Luther King Day, so there are issues that are relevant then as they are today. So there are things that we can talk about, and I want to get your thoughts on that as well. We'll be back in a few minutes with more of the Winter of Chuck's Discontent here on WJOB.
Are you sausage curious?
Who's ready for Poland?
Big Frank Sausage has the very best Polish food in the region.
Have you had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage?
We have a full bar, dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and catering available.
I've had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage. I've got a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
219-378-9556. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Who's ready for Polish?
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
Hey, it is 6:54 here in the region. It's a cold Monday morning. Dr. King, the day we celebrate Dr. King, so a lot of people are staying home today. Stay in bed. Enjoy the radio from the warmth of under your electric blanket. But we're here. We got up early. Lynette came in early. We got everything going. Make sure no frozen pipes. Kick the ice off the transmitter. All that sort of thing. So we're here this morning. We are fortunate enough to be joined by our Friday host, Bob Starkey. We also have my old friend Larry the K should come in at some point. One of the things we want to do today is predictions. I got a whole bunch of paper, I got a whole bunch of markers, and we're going to just write down predictions about things, whether it's the train ridership, the Bears coming to Indiana, all these different things. We're gonna throw some predictions out there, and then we'll revisit it next year and see how wrong we were. But we're also taking your phone calls here at 219-845-1100. Why don't we get a few of those? So good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Chuck, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, your rant is spot on, and you're absolutely entitled to it.
Thank you. That doesn't make it right, though. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like I can rant all day long. That doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help the folks out there trying to get benefits that have been paying into the system for 50 years. I don't get it. I get that people like to go watch football. And I get it. But at the end of the day, we need to take care of the folks that put the money into the system. I mean, again, like how it just, I mean, this guy died in it, you know, he died waiting for services. I mean, again, I'm not sitting here trying to pat myself on the back, but I had to step up and help this man balance his books, stay in his house, pay for services. Why did I have to do that? I already paid taxes for that reason. He already paid taxes for that reason. And yet when he needed services from the state that he paid into for 50 years, it's sorry, there's nothing for you. Explain that. Explain how we have all this money, but then we don't have all this money. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. Is Bob coming back in? Because I want him to hear this.
He's somewhere. I think he was looking for a light stand or something. Bob, somebody wants to yell at you. Come back. I don't. They don't have the speaker set up yet. Hang on. I'll tell him to come back. But I don't know. He's wandering around. They're trying to get the studio set up. Go ahead. I'll
Chuck,
reiterate.
here's why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please reiterate. This is for Bob's co-hosts on Friday. They have that woke idea because they've never, either one of them, has really had to bust their rear end and work for anything and had it taken away from them by somebody that has sat on their couch, never done a thing for this country, and stolen it out from underneath them.
So, Lynette, you are of that generation. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, again, it's sort of the idea, and again, it's not to beat up on anybody. It's not to beat up on anybody because their age or anything like that. It's just that there's a lot of people, a lot of our callers and listeners are older folks. They've done it, they've seen it, and it's you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Field of Dreams. Remember that thing where Kevin Costner's talking to his dad. He's like, I never met the man. I didn't meet my father until after the weight of the world had already beaten him down. I never got to meet him when he was, young and enthusiastic and full of life. And that's sort of the thing is like, look, man, life beats you down and you see these things and these things happen to you and these things happen to people around you. You go, this ain't right. Why does this happen this way? But so Lynette, what are your thoughts? I mean, they're beating up on the young people. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's all right. You shouldn't want things that happen to you to happen to your kids. So.
Well, and it was interesting because we were at church yesterday, and I always talk about generational.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on,
Go ahead.
Chuck.
Go ahead.
Let me interrupt. Right on that, Lynette, great point. Chuck, I don't know how many shows ago it was, but you were there with Deedlow, and you mentioned your son in high school and how you wanted things to be better for him.
Right.
And Deedlow's head spun around 3 times, and he looked at you and he said, do you really look at things that way? Do you recall that?
I vaguely do, yes.
Isn't that how all men are supposed to look at things? I want to set my kids up for success. I want to bust my rear end so they have it better.
Right, but
he didn't.
Go ahead.
Chuck,
no,
let
go ahead.
me finish.
Go ahead.
Deedlow doesn't look at things that way, and that's how it's inbred in that studio for anybody that'll be dumb enough to listen. It doesn't matter until it happens to a liberal up close and personal. And
okay,
I'm not done.
Go ahead.
But go ahead.
No, so this is an interesting thing that I talk about even with, when you mention that, you know who I think of? I think of Nancy Pelosi, and here's why. Here's a woman that's made her and her husband have made over $200 million in her time in Congress. And she talks about her ice cream freezer, and a freezer full of ice cream and things like that. At a certain point, I see people like that and I go, do you ever stop and think that maybe, you have enough, and maybe when you're 80 years old, and again, it's both sides. It feels like everybody in Congress, at a certain point you go, look, I have enough. Maybe I should start thinking about giving something to the future generations. Maybe I should think about setting things up. I have enough. I mean, I'm at the point, I'm not that old, and I feel like I have enough. You know what I mean? I have a nice roof over my head. I have a car that gets me where I need to go. I don't need fancy stuff. I wear Region jeans like everybody else around here. I feel like I have enough. And I don't need more. And so I want to give to people like my son and anybody else who's out there, young people, get them started, because they're going to have a hell of a time buying a house and getting established because people before them are just hoarding that wealth. Go ahead.
Chuck, yes, you should definitely take care of your children and family like that. But when you feel you have enough and can give to others, you do it quietly, without publicity, behind the scenes, not a look at me. Is Starkey coming back?
He's
Because I
here.
have
He's setting up
something
the.
for
Go
him.
ahead. He wants. Okay, while he's sitting down, I want to say something about that, though. So here's the thing, though. One of the things that I've learned doing this is that many times I find myself in the soup aisle at Strax, and people come up to me and they say, "Thank you for saying the things that I can't." I run into people. They say, "I'm a business owner." I say, "Call in, man." They say, "I can't. I'm afraid somebody will hear me. I don't want people." You know what I mean? They're afraid that somebody that doesn't agree with their opinions will not do business with them or will think differently of them. There's a lot of you out there that listen that are afraid to speak up. So I'm not sitting here patting myself on the back for doing anything. I'm saying it's not right. And I shouldn't have to do that. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there right now that are taking care of older folks, that are doing, helping their neighbors and doing all these things. We talked with Ron about the veterans. That why is it that we spend all this money on a system and then we end up doing it anyway? So I'm, again, double tax. He paid the tax, I paid the tax, and at the end of the day, the people I paid the tax to didn't help the people with the money that was set aside for that purpose. And that's what I'm saying, is that we have a system where we're paying into it and nobody's getting anything out of it. And nobody's going, wait a second, who's getting it? The Quality Leering Center is getting $1 million, but the person who's stuck in bed isn't getting anything. I don't get it. So good. Bob's back if you'd like to lecture him a little bit.
Bob, I don't want to lecture you, but talking about your co-hosts and your, what's the word, producer on Friday, as I said to Chuck, and I don't know if you heard it, they've never really worked their rear ends off long enough and hard enough to have anything meaningful taken away from them by somebody sitting there doing nothing like we're getting today. Bob, what's your health insurance costing you? What's your car insurance costing you? If you take that kid of yours to the doctor, what's it going to cost you? While others are mooching off the government like there's no tomorrow. Bob, let me help you with this.
He's going to tell you what your numbers are.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Bob, let me help you with this. Matlock that just called in, somehow his history seems to fail him. Chuck, work with me on this. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Katie Hall, you're going to bring, Matlock, you're going to bring up Katie Hall? Let's go over this real quick, Matlock. Charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and extortion, perjury, setting her daughter up for a job that really didn't exist and gain money from it. Let me, Matlock, because you have trouble at times, charged with racketeering, conspiracy, extortion, perjury. But you're going to use her as an example of the great things she did? Matlock, you gotta be kidding me, pal.
So it is 7:04 in the region. You're listening to AM 1230, 104.7 FM in beautiful Hammond, Indiana. So again, I mean, yeah, I had to pull it up on. Go
tell
ahead.
me I'm wrong.
I'm pulling it up.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You were not wrong. So I'm pulling it up on Wikipedia right now, just so I have the dates right. So in May 2002, a grand jury indicted Hall and her daughter on racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, extortion, mail fraud, etc. Katie Hall resigned as Gary's clerk in 2003 after signing a plea agreement. She was sentenced to house arrest and probation. Jennifer Hall was sentenced to 16 months in federal prison. So again, I'm just making sure that we have our facts straight, but that seems to be the. I was not there. I was in diapers at the time. I apologize, but that seems to be the case.
That's Matlock's example of a great humanitarian. I'm baffled. I am baffled at that. Sharkey, please tell me, as a political public official, you're not going to conduct yourself that way, where later on, as you're sentenced to prison, I got to talk about how great you were. Matlock, shove it up your keister, dude.
Okay, well, that's a good place to leave it because we do have to take a break. I appreciate the call. A lot of heart, a lot of tough love this morning here on a Monday morning. So I appreciate the call. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more. The winter of your discontent, apparently, this morning. Everybody's a little cold and a little agitated. We'll be back with more after this.
Years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Looking for a place to enjoy great food and great games? Head to Doc's Barbecue in Dyer. Indulge in Southern-style hickory smoked meats served in a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Want to catch the latest local Jet TV basketball games? Just ask and they'll have it on one of their 15 big-screen TVs. Whether you're here for the food, the fun, or the hoops, Doc's has something for everyone. Stop by Doc's Smokehouse on Calumet Avenue in Dyer, where flavor and sports come together.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how you can wash your car daily with our $10 Ultimate Wash for only $19.99 per month. Give your car the best clean at Easy Clean Car Wash.
.708 in the region. Jim did come in the studio. Bob did a great job kind of blocking him. He's like, okay, hey, how's it going? He pushed him back out into the hallway. But he did want to mention that the services for his Uncle Dwayne Didlo Sr. are from 10 to 1 today at Chapel Lawn in Cherville. So condolences to the Didlo family on that. 10 to 1 Chapel Lawn in Cherville if you want to stop out there. And so we're doing a lot of Tough Love Monday here on WJLB. Bob's getting, I don't know, tough love for his Friday show. I don't think it was that bad, but again, everybody's going to find something.
I don't even know that it's tough love. It's just everybody's got an opinion.
Everybody's got an opinion.
We went to break, and I said, try being an elected official when, they're out there plowing the roads and they haven't plowed the cul-de-sac in an hour and you're getting lit up that way. I say, I'm thick skin. It's okay.
It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it.
I like the scene from Pirates of the Caribbean when Johnny Depp's character said, "But you have heard of me."
Well, it's sort of like I gave a lecture this weekend in Chicago. We were talking about Indiana Beach, and the very first thing I said is I'm from Northwest Indiana, future home of the Chicago Bears, which was met with booze. I said I like getting the booze out of the way first, so you know what to expect. So let's get the booze out of the way, and then we can do the rest. So let's take a look at traffic and weather. So in the world of traffic, things are quiet on the area roadways. I mean, obviously things are a little slow going, a little slippery, but for the most part, the roadways are moving. We had an earlier accident on the inbound Dan Ryan. That's cleared up. Traffic into the city is fine. Around the city's fine. Here in North, everything's looking good. It looks like there may be something going on. Let's check in on this. Okay, we do have an accident. The westbound 8094, this just popped up. Okay, so we've got an accident westbound. Is that Klein? No, that can't be Klein. Okay, I guess it is. So westbound at Klein, there is an accident with a right lane block. So you do have a little slowdown if you're heading westbound. You can have a little slowdown as you pass through Gary to Klein Avenue, and after that it opens up. So just be aware of that. Right around Klein Avenue, you're going to have a little slowdown there. Doesn't look to be anything too serious. Just give them some room so they can clear that accident up. Go ahead. How's the weather looking?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 4 degrees with highs of 9 and lows of 0. It's going to be windy and frigid with intervals of clouds and sunshine, then dangerously cold. And then later tonight should be partly cloudy and frigid with life-threatening cold air. And then tomorrow and Tuesday we'll be having highs of 24 and lows of 20. Should be turning cloudy and not as cold. And then Wednesday we'll be having highs of 29 and lows of 13. A couple of flurries in the morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy.
I'm sorry, I was disassociated for a minute. Did you mention the temperature of doom?
What
wasn't that the?
No, I think that's the update. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, they always do a great job of coming up with new ways to tell you that it's cold outside. Like, we don't just say, hey, it's cold outside. We got to put all these adjectives and dangerous cold and all this kind of stuff. So, okay, we're taking your calls here. We're here on a Dr. King Day, Monday. Ron called in earlier, talked about the legacy of Dr. King. And I think that's an important part of it. And I'd say one of the things that as you get older, you learn that history is more complicated than they made it when you were, in third grade. Hang on. So what do you got? So we're saying, we have an accident on I-65 now. Okay. So, the whole road is closed. Okay. Well, by the way, since it snowed, I-65 at some point is going to have a crash and be closed.
Yeah.
And so that has now just happened. So we have a crash. So southbound I-65 between 137th and 153rd near Crown Point, the road is closed. So can you get to? So where's 2 at? Is that? So that's north of 2, right? So let's take a look. So I-65 southbound is closed in the Crown Point area, 137th. So basically
south of 231, north of 2.
South of 231. So traffic is going to start backing up. But again, nothing surprising that I-65 is closed and there was a truck accident. All of the things that you would expect on a snowy Monday morning. I-65 closed southbound at Crown Point. So if you're trying to head that way, and we'll keep an eye on that. But the expectation is, let's see, what do we have? Is that like a truck accident? Looks like maybe, typical I-65. You got a couple trucks got tangled up down there. So it does look like they're getting through on the shoulder though, but maybe they've closed it since then. But yes, so that's what we've got. So we've got an accident westbound 8094 at Klein. It's passable but slow. We're now saying that I-65 is closed in the Crown Point area, so keep an eye on that if you're heading southbound. Let us know if you see anything else out on the area roadways or how conditions are. I mean, for us, it was just sort of a dusting of snow and a little slippery, but let us know if you see anything that we don't. Let's take some calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I don't think Bob did that bad a job on Friday, given the fact that he was basically flying solo with those 2 young people. He started out saying he wanted only calls on a particular subject. And I thought to myself, you got 3 hours to fill, my man. I mean, you're not going to get that done with one subject. But he quickly adjusted his approach, and he started taking calls on other subjects. So, but as far as people not being happy with the young people, and they're basically saying they're young and dumb, and why are they speaking on? It's talk radio. I mean, my goodness, the strength of WJOB is that people call in from very diverse points of view, and I like to listen to the callers because it reminds me as to how dumb people can be.
Well, and so
it's
this
pretty
is
ridiculous.
You know, it's funny when people tell us that. That people say, "Oh, well, you know, you guys always have the same opinions, and all the same people call." It's like, well, Walt, you managed to call in, you managed to get through every week, so it's not like it's hard to do. It's kind of reminds me of those people that say, well, nobody has a license. It's like it's pretty easy to get one. So it's kind of the same idea. It's like if you have an opinion, you know the number, you know where to find us. And I've told people for years, Walt, I said,
go for it.
I said, go for it. Come on in. I've invited people onto these airwaves. They always say, everybody has a big opinion on Facebook. And as soon as I say, well, sit next to me in the studio and let's work it out, all of a sudden they go, I'm busy that day. Which every day I'm busy every day. Can't come in. So I mean, that is what I've found. That's how you kind of can gauge if somebody has an opinion that they truly believe. Like I could come into these airwaves and debate you on any topic that I believe. Like the train, you pick a topic I'm versed in, and I can sit here and argue it all day long because, as I said earlier, I bring the receipts. There are so many people in this world, Walt, that they believe. You ever see those man on the street interviews? They see them like on YouTube and stuff now, where somebody shows up at a protest and goes, well, what are you protesting? Oh, we're protesting Trump. Well, what did he do? I'm not sure, but I don't like it. It's like if I'm going to go out in the cold, if I'm going to go out and get wet, I'm going to spend my Saturday protesting, I better know why I'm there. It's funny, Walt, I think maybe you and I have talked about this before. I remember back when I was a journalist in Chicago, when we first, 20 years ago, when we were going to war with Iraq, there'd be these protests every weekend downtown, all these kids marching. And one of my favorite things to do was, instead of asking the kids at the front of the march why they're marching, I'd ask the kids at the back of the march. So I'd wait a little bit, let them go through, and I'd grab a kid in the back of the march, and I'd say, hey, what are you marching for today? He says, I don't know. My friend said we're marching for the war or something. I go, are you for? He said, something about oil. I go, well, what are you marching for? Oil. They go, you want oil? Do you not want? Because they had no clue. There's like 5 kids at the head of the line that were organizing a march, and then 1,000 other people like, oh, okay, I'll come out and march with you. Had no idea what they're marching for. They could have been marching for free Chick-fil-A for all they know.
Oh,
so,
I would.
I know you would,
I would march.
But I mean, that's the funny thing, Walt, is it's so interesting to see how many people just show up at these events, have no idea why they're there, have no like I'd have way more respect for you if I don't agree with. If you have an opinion that's solid, but I don't agree with you, as opposed to I don't know why I'm here. I'm just here just for fun because I enjoy marching.
There is something I will say. There is something to when you run up against someone who has a different view than you, but it is backed with something.
Right.
It really does. For a second, I think everybody should. You take them and you think, oh, are my preconceived notions? Should I challenge that at all? And
and that's
as opposed to just my buddy told me to do this.
Well, and that's the problem about having debate is when you have people that are so far apart. I try to have discussions with people that I don't agree with. And I say, well, let's have that discussion, and then they just call me a fat idiot. I go, okay, well, I know you're fat and bald. Like I'm aware of that. Yes, I'm aware.
Sky blue, water wet.
Right. It's like, is that what I would like to debate this issue? And then your response is you're fat and bald. I go, I got it. That's all you got. I know. You know what I mean? It's like at least put some effort into it. At least educate yourself.
Every time you say fat and bald, I look at the YouTube stream here.
I hate that picture.
It's you and I, and we're.
But I'm saying, like, if you and I, like, if somebody, imagine if they invited me to discuss the South Shore, and I just said, you're all fat and bald. It's like, well, that's not how, you know what I mean? Like, that's not how you sway argument, because that's not the goal. The goal isn't to sway argument. The goal is just to be contrarian. So, but Walt, anything else on your mind?
How about a more positive thing?
I suppose.
Trucker Mike called in, and he said he was looking for recommendations for places to eat breakfast. And I'm going to recommend, there is a small restaurant in downtown Crown Point facing the west face of the old court building.
Okay.
Right in the corner. It's been on national television. I've seen it in the print, media, print and so forth, where they you pay what you feel you can afford. And they have I've eaten there. The food's good, and I paid the full price because I could. But they told me that people come in all the time. They're hungry, and so they give them their breakfast, and there's no charge type thing.
There's like a pay it forward kind of thing where you can pay for other people's meals as well. Some people do that where
Quite
you can
possibly.
Yeah, you can basically you
Right.
can go in and give them an extra $5 or $10 and pay it forward kind of thing, which is it's one of those things where again people say that in a capitalist society capitalism is heartless and we don't like. If that model works, I'm just like the pay it forward at the drive-thru or whatever. It's like, hey, try it and see if it works. If that's a successful model, then great. And I would have no problem going in there and having a meal and paying it forward for somebody else. And if it's working, it's working. Like that just proves that capitalism doesn't have to be heartless, and capitalism can help other people, right? I mean, it's sort of a funny thing with these young people. It's like, oh well, capitalism just exploits everybody's labor and all this stuff, and it becomes comical, Walt. Again, I know you appreciate this. Is it these discussions with, again, going back to the young people where they say, well, capitalism is, it's heartless and all this stuff. It's like, well, how many people has capitalism, every single one of you complaining has $1,000 smartphone, has a car, has a nice TV at home. I mean, I guess these people don't appreciate, Walt, even going back to, the Great Depression. Half the country was out of work. Everybody was starving. Nobody was doing well. And capitalism has brought us out of that. Capitalism has created a situation where even those of us that are poor don't have a calorie deficit anymore. Everybody's bringing in enough calories for the most part. Everybody's eating. Everybody's getting by. It may be tough for some people. It may be tougher for others, but for the most part, people are doing very well. This is probably the most successful period in human history, and yet there's still people complaining. It's weird to me.
One thing people don't understand, and that is rich people are different than the rest of us. I have enjoy a middle-class living. I have no hankering to have 6 Maseratis in my garage in a home that's 50,000 square feet or anything like that. But you have people like Musk, for example. I mean, he was a billionaire. He was the most wealthy man in the world, and he wasn't happy until he became a trillionaire. And the board of directors that he was answerable to gave him the trillion type thing. But remember this about Musk: he wasn't always rich. He went through a lot of difficulties in his life, and that's the difference between entrepreneurs and your average business manager. They're willing to take on huge risks. They're willing. I've flying around the country on the commercial airlines, sat next to an entrepreneur, and they will brag as to how many times they have been bankrupt. With, by gum, I'm back bigger than ever, kind of thing. The average person can't tolerate that.
But Walt, here's the thing. I remember people they were litigating Musk's compensation package and all this stuff. Is that this is the thing that these people don't understand, is that compensation package is based essentially 100% on the future success of Tesla. Nobody's giving him money. That is all stock options. If he tanks Tesla, he gets nothing. I mean, that's the thing, is that this guy is taking a huge risk. He's basically saying, my entire compensation in Tesla is based on the future performance and success of our company and our stock. I mean, that's the thing. All of his compensation is based on new wealth creation. And again, if he's getting that, then all of the shareholders are also getting a piece of that future, wealth creation that's coming from these Tesla stock, right? I mean, that's the thing, is that's what people don't understand. They think that Elon Musk is getting, $1 trillion in cash that he's hoarding under his bed.
Right.
It's all in stock, and it's all in compensation based on future performance. So instead of being mad at Elon Musk, put some money aside and buy his stock, right? It's like, if you're mad at him, put some money aside, you'll make some money too.
Well,
I mean,
let me add one thing to that. Jeff Bezos, he some interview a number of years ago, Amazon hit $1 trillion. I could be off on the numbers, but they hit $1 trillion, and they said, look, you're worth, $200 billion. And he says, well, yes, but look, I also created $800 billion worth of value for everyone else.
Yeah, Tesla millionaires, Amazon people that were
so,
there
so
with him.
and I just checked if he's on track to be a trillionaire and all this, but Tesla came from nothing and is now worth
right. But again, it's not he's not getting a paycheck. He is getting reimbursed in the form of future growth of the company. The company will be worth more, ergo he will get more money for that. And again, like that's a fair compensation. If Tesla tanks and the place goes out of business, guess what? He's got nothing, because it's all tied to the success of his company. As it should be, as opposed to somebody walking out with a golden parachute. Well, no, that didn't work. I get my money, and all the stockholders lost their money. So,
one final comment about Big Frank's restaurant in East Chicago. Just wanted to point out to people that the food is good. It's not just Polish food. You have American and Italian style food there. They have wonderful imported beers from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
There is a section of the restaurant that's family oriented.
Yep.
There's a section. The biggest part of it is where the bar is, and then they have a gate kind of thing, and you can't go beyond that gate unless you're 21 kind of thing. But they have a family area. Bathrooms are clean as a whistle.
Yep.
Food's great, so I can give them 5 stars in terms of a neighborhood, local place. The food's good. The proprietors are friendly. The bathrooms are clean, and they have a nice place for families to eat out, like in the old days.
I mean, even the pizza's fantastic. We tried that recently when we were there.
Yep.
And Stan is always, every time I talk to Stan, he's always excited about new menu items, and he's talking about how he really he appreciates feedback. People come in and say, I like this, would you add this? And so he is really a hands-on guy. He's always there, and that's why I love going there. I love going to a place where I literally can shake hands with the person who runs the place, and it's not a faceless corporation. The money's staying in the area. It's it's a local business, local success story. So,
local business.
Yeah, one of my favorite places to go, and I try to go as often as I can. So, okay, Walt, thank you so much. Appreciate the call.
Yep.
I know we got some people holding, but why don't we take our break now, because we do have a lot of traffic to update everybody on. So why don't we take a quick break and we'll follow back up. We'll do a round of traffic updates here in a couple minutes on the Winter of Chuck's Discontent here on WJB.
Tell the folks where they can find the French Room.
Fridays, 3 to 5 Central.
And where can they listen?
On WJOB, AM 1230, 104.7 FM.
I believe those are the radio people.
Who the hell's that?
I have no idea. But you could listen worldwide on TuneIn.com or watch on JetTV.com.
Get your Jet TV. The Front Room.
With Marla Kubik. Variety, sometimes at its finest.
If you're thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or your business has plans to break ground on a new project in 2024, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's best electricians. With IBEW, Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today and ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals.
Have you ever considered becoming an iron worker? Local 395 is now accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Go to ironworkers395.com. Look under the training section, click on apprenticeship, and scroll down to the application. You must be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED, and you must be physically able to perform the work of the trade. Find out more by calling the apprenticeship school in Lake Station at 219-962-7675 or visit ironworkers395.com.
It's nice. Is she when
nice.
it waves
She's
at
so
us
friendly.
just to make sure we're here?
She's so friendly, like, hi guys.
Okay, just making sure you're
Hi.
still awake.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so it is 7:30. You are listening to AM 1230, 104.7 FM, WJOB, your home for traffic and weather. So we got to get into this because there are a few things happening on the area roadways. So let's start here in the region. We've got an accident. I originally was seeing westbound 80, but NDOT is telling Bob eastbound 80. So basically 80.
Between Kennedy and Klein.
So basically between Kennedy and Klein, there's stuff going on. So we've got a crash in the right lane eastbound. They were saying the earlier accident was westbound. So right now we're going to go with eastbound 80 between Kennedy and Klein. There's a crash in the right lane. So we've got that. The big news right now is, as no surprise to anybody, problems on I-65 southbound and northbound. So this is coming from Goddard. So we've got northbound 65 is closed, 231 to 109th with a jackknifed semi. Southbound I-65 just south of Franciscan, all three lanes are blocked because a silver F-150 was pulling a camper. So mental note, don't pull a camper on an icy, snowy day because now that camper is laying on its side across all three lanes.
Ooh.
So I-65 northbound at 243, at mile marker 243, there's a jackknife semi. The semi is facing the wrong way. Again, not ideal. You want to face the direction of travel. So basically what it boils down to is, again, no surprise to anyone, I-65's Crown Point and south sucks. It's a mess. North and south, accidents, nothing that you are not expecting when the weather is like this. I-65, just stay off of it, south of Crown Point. Okay,
You know what's going to fix that?
Another lane.
Toll road.
Double tracking it. Double tracking toll road. A double tracked toll road will fix this problem. Lynette, how's the weather?
Good morning, everyone. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 3 degrees with highs of 9 and lows of 0. It's going to be windy and frigid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. And then tomorrow and Tuesday we'll be having highs of 24 and lows of 20. Should be turning cloudy and not as cold. And then Wednesday we'll be having highs of 29 and lows of 13 with a couple of flurries in the morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy.
Thank you so much. So we are here, Dr. King Holiday.
I did not realize that Martin Luther was not his real name.
What is his real name?
Michael King.
Michael King. I did
Michael
not know
King.
that either.
His father changed it after a trip to Germany.
Ah.
So he was born Michael King.
I did not know that.
Well, there you go.
I was thinking about I was trying to remember. We talked about.
He was also the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize at the time that he won.
Interesting.
He was the youngest person ever.
I was thinking about we had talked about Martin Luther, not that one, the other one.
With the hair and the
and the hammer and whatnot.
Yeah.
But again, I use the analogy. Imagine if Martin Luther, and I think that was in Germany, you said, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if Martin Luther had shown up to the steps of that church dressed as a giant inflatable unicorn or lizard and said, "Please take me seriously as I protest." Do you know what I mean?
He did kind of have a No Kings vibe going on, though. So,
but I'm saying, if you're going to be taken seriously throughout history, you put a well thought out list of grievances, you nail it to the door, and then you create your own religion. If he showed up dressed as a giant frog, they probably not would have taken him as seriously, and history would not have remembered Martin Luther the way that we do. I'm just saying.
All good things begin with an airing of grievances.
Right, but not dressed as an inflatable frog. Probably not the way to go. Again, maybe wrong. History may prove me wrong. You may one day, your grandkids may open up their history books to the Battle of Minneapolis, and there's a big picture of a unicorn and Pepe the Frog or whoever he is on the cover. So these are the guys that, saved Minneapolis. I don't know.
Pepe was on the conservative side?
I thought he was, but they took him back.
They reclaimed him.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, that's what I will remember of this. So
stolen iconography.
Yeah, well, again, it's the battle for hearts and minds and frogs, So, okay, let's take some calls. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
The great thing about those inflatable unicorns and frogs and everything else is ICE has discovered that if you spray your pepper spray
right in the vent,
right in the fan,
it immediately gasses these a-holes out. So that's a great tactic that ICE has come about. Chuck, you got to get a quicker hook, dude. Guys like Trucker Mike, who's the old man, Walt, the racist Malox. These guys have got nothing better to do They've got nothing to do all day. So if you allow them to pontificate for 25, 30 minutes, they're going to take it. You're on drive time. You need quick hitters. You've got to shorten these calls. These guys have got to have a shorter leash. And I've mentioned this to you before, and I wish you would take my
Okay. And again, I would love to hear from some new callers. And like I said, when I go out into the world, people tell me, "Oh, I don't want to call because I'm afraid somebody's going to hear me and not like my opinion." Well, it's past that time. It's time that people need to start, stepping up, calling in, making yourself known, and stop being afraid that somebody's not going to like you for your opinion. We're past that. So.
Well, if we weren't on hold listening to Ron Matlock spew about racism, maybe more people would call. But it's kind of discouraging when you're on hold for 30 minutes. But I'm going to get off of that. The restaurant that Walt had suggested on the square, it's called Cafe Fresco. I wouldn't recommend it. That place is garbage. So, first off, I don't want Trucker Mike down in Crown Point. Second of all, I wouldn't even waste my time at that restaurant. I'm not one to carry Bob's water. But, Bob, I did listen to Friday's show. It sucked. Don't get me wrong. It sucked bad. But I've been listening to WJOB for 25 years. I've heard a lot worse garbage on WJOB. This show today actually ranks right up there with Friday's show, just so you know. But it wasn't that bad. So just so you know. And so you guys put that in your pipe and smoke it. Later.
So, again, my goal is to have a very democratic show. You guys drive this show. And you guys call in and you guys drive. You tell us what you want to know, what you want to talk about, what's on your mind, what's important to you. I could sit here all day and do a monologue. I could do the Rush Limbaugh, or I just do 2 hours without taking a breath. That's not the kind of radio I want to do. I want to have co-hosts. I want to have people calling and we hear from you guys. So go ahead. Let's take the next caller. Good morning, caller.
Yes. Let me say, did I say anything about Katie Hall? I think I was talking about Dr. Martin Luther King, right?
Well, you mentioned her name, and that was enough to get people to call to talk.
I mentioned her name because she was the sponsor and signed by a Republican of this thing, and it happened before. Yes, Katie Hall, was certainly she had to leave office. Absolutely. I agree with that, and it should have been. But I'm just simply saying, we talked about, my whole thing was Martin Luther King. Right now, today is Martin Luther King, and I haven't heard one person other than the haters of Matlock. He's the same guy who says Matlock gave Brandon Johnson some money out there, which was a lie. Ron Matlock, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get off. Ron Matlock served 2 terms on the township at 8 years, and never was a situation where they seen any corruption on behalf of Matlock. You might say, well, the township, that was not Ron Matlock. And I call this radio station, and normally a lot of times people tell me when I see them in public, why do you call? I say, no, because I believe I like to hear what they got to say. They say they're not listening to me, but they listen. They hear everything I say. So, again, it was about Dr. Martin Luther King right now. And that gentleman wants to cut me down about Martin Luther King. Why didn't he say something about Martin Luther King that day? But he doesn't care. I don't know much about that, and I don't think he know much about me. I don't think he know anything about me. I don't know anything about him. So it's kind of bad for me to say that he might be a decent guy. But from what I understand, it seems that he has such a hatred for Ron Matlock. So with that, again, I can stop calling, and which I probably will. But I think that's what talk show is about. I talk on WOTH, but I like to go across America and talking about things that affect people in lives every day, and not to be fighting against him. I don't know who he is, what he represents. If he's an elected official, then of course I would probably say, but since he's never been that, probably never will be. But have a great day. Okay,
I appreciate the call. Let's power through a couple calls, and then I want to start working on our predictions for this year. So good. Good morning, caller on the air.
It's me again.
Hello.
Hey, first thing, you was talking about your friend you're helping out, passed away, and all this, try to get help, waiting list. I worked so many years driving a truck, and there was one time that I needed help, kind of get help.
while I was working, paying taxes
right.
to the state of Indiana, the county, state, and the federal government. Needed help. What was the answer from all the places I tried to get help? I make too much money.
Right.
But now, when I was sitting in a hospital bed, that day of the incident, which I got to mention all these names real quick. MX, Dave Gearman, Ron Matlock, Tom Daberton, and Paul Goddard that day jumped in on that situation. But while I'm laying in a hospital bed, 3 hospitals till September 1st, Mad Mac jumped in, came to my house, started getting all the paperwork done. He did so much of getting everything done, but I had to get on waiting lists for this, waiting lists for that.
Right.
But that's the thing. But the thing is Mad Mac jumped in and did Mad Mac jumped in and did so much because I couldn't do anything. But the thing is I got on waiting lists and everything, and everything finally went in a row. And I mean, it was just, it's disgusting because, like you said, okay, somebody needs help. The money's there to get on a waiting list. But now the state of Indiana got billions of dollars to want to bring that Bears to Indiana, somewhere in Indiana. But, they can't help people that really need help.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing is that a lot of times, these are not planned. People don't plan on having a stroke. You didn't plan on this thing happening to you when it did. And that becomes the problem is, okay, yeah, it's like you had a medical emergency. You're in the hospital. Now we need all this stuff from you. We need you. Like, well, I can't do that from the hospital bed. I can't go to your office. I can't do this. I can't fill out 20 pages. It's a weird thing that there's all of these hoops to jump through when you need the services, but then again, there's no guardrails when it comes to this fraud. And I don't understand, and I try to not believe that it's intentional. I try to not believe it's some massive government conspiracy, but it's hard not to when I hear stories like yours and what my friend went through and other people, that it's so hard for you to get services, and yet somehow the Leering Center gets $1 million. It doesn't, or the Bears get $1 billion. It doesn't make sense to me, and I think that's why I have so much trouble with government. I can't process that.
I just wanted to bring that up because that's the thing is, when we're working, we make too much and can't get no help. When we're not working, we can't even. We got to get on waiting lists. So I'll leave it with that because simple reason.
No, thank you for calling in.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the point I was trying to make. Is that again, when you need services that you've paid for your entire life. Sorry, you're on a waiting list. Sorry, you got to. We'll see you in 6 weeks. Like, no, well, sorry, there's nothing for you. But the Bears show up like 2 weeks. A day later, the governor's giving a press conference, going, who do I write the check to? You know what I mean? Like that. That's what I don't get, and it doesn't matter the party. Yeah. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm going to let you go. But I got one more thing a suggestion that we need to do. Okay. Every time wonderful host Tom Daberton on the morning call takes off and goes to Florida, we have weird weather the rest of the time till he comes back. Can any way we can do a petition to get him back in this region, put on an ankle rest, something on his ankle, keep him in the region, so that the weather, can we get a petition to get him back up here?
Well, bring it up on Wednesday with him. See how that goes over with him. So, or you just tell him to get some extra rooms at his place, and you go stay with him. So, okay, thank you for the call. We got one more, and then we're gonna take a break from calls for a while so we can work on our predictions. So, good morning, caller, in here.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to say I'm coming down I-65, and those street guys that cleared the street in Hammond, man, those guys are great. I mean, it's three degrees outside, and they actually got water on the street because they hit it with a lot of salt. I just come out of East Chicago, and my goodness, the streets are just horrible. But those guys in Hammond, man, you got to give it to those guys, man. They're out there early in the morning. They got the street clean. It's straight down to the pavement. I came from Hammond, and I work over here in South Holland, and I come down I-65 because there's no way I was going to get 80-94, not on a day like today. I heard there's already an accident on there, and it's going very slow. So my hands off to the guys. Hats off to the guys in Hammond that cleared the street. They did a great job this morning.
Oh, good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure some of them are out there listening. So, but yeah, so right now you said 65 up here is good, but 65 south. So we know we'll just reiterate down in Crown Point by Franciscan. We've got accidents both directions. Last we've heard, both directions are closed down in Crown Point near 231. You've got a jackknife semi. You've got a flipped over camper. All kinds of fun. So if you're heading down that way, find a different way.
We just get a little snow and everybody just forgets how to drive. But I just also want to go say something before I go. I'm the guy that always listens but never calls.
Okay.
I try getting in there, but I try calling and stuff, but I can never get through because I got to get to work like in about 15 minutes. But I always like JOB, and I love everybody's opinion. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're progressive. I want to hear everybody's opinions because that's what it's all about, man. Right? I mean, everybody has a different. Everybody's different.
I appreciate that.
I mean, that's how it is.
Right.
You know, we're Americans. You know, I appreciate everybody's opinion just like I hope they appreciate mine. I come from the conservative side, so for me, what's going on in America is really heartbreaking. You're getting in these guys' ways of enforcing the law, and that's ridiculous. I mean, there has to be more done to protect. I don't care if you're a policeman. I don't care if you work if you're fed. You can't get in those people's way and get in the you know that you just can't do that, man. I mean, just where the heck happened to our country where you can get into a face of a law, man, and actually yell at them? That's just, you got to give the guys the respect. This guy will come will come to your house if you dial 911, and here you are in the street, you know, assaulting them. You're throwing things at them. That's just, I thought I'd never seen that, man. You know, I'm going to turn 60 years old here in a couple of weeks, and I'd never seen that. I was always told to respect the cops. You know, you respect the cop. Yes, sir. No, sir. You do what he tells you to do, and you know, if you don't cause him any trouble, most likely he's going to let you go on your way. But these people that are just getting in the way of them doing their job is just ridiculous. That's the one thing I just don't understand what's going on that today. I understand you may not like that. Maybe some of these people are being thrown out of here of this country. Yeah, you're uprooting them. But if they're illegals, they're breaking the law, and that's the bottom line.
Well,
you know?
Right, and that's sort of what we talked about even last year when this started happening was you're going to have. The more that you have these interactions, the more I called it, and you're going to have these accidents like what happened with Renee Good. You're going to have, over the weekend, there was counter protesters to the protest. I understand at least one person was stabbed in Minneapolis. By one of the counter protesters was stabbed. So I mean, you're going to just have an increase in violence, and people. It's just going to get worse before it gets better, and everybody keeps saying we got to lower the temperature, but nobody wants to be the one to say let's do it. Everybody says let's lower the temperature, but then they go back to their side's rhetoric. So, but hey, it was a great call. I appreciate that you called in. I'm glad that you took the time to call, and hopefully we'll hear from you again soon.
Have a great morning.
Hey, you too. Take care. Okay, let's take one more call. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to get to our prediction. So, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Chuckle.
Uh-oh. Oh, and we got to take a... Oh, man, look, it's 7:50. We got to go. Go ahead. You got 1 minute.
Hey, watch that. I know where you live.
Okay.
Hey, did anybody take a cheap shot at your outfits yet? Saying, do you guys use the same concierge for your Garanimal shopping?
We proactively pointed out that we were all wearing flannels because it's, 5 degrees out or whatever it is. So
it's the gray flannel power hour here on WJOB.
Lynette adds another layer like every segment. She got a coat on now. She's going to have her
She's in a parka
it may be like 7 degrees here in the studio. So if you know any HVAC guys, now send them.
Is that why there's no heat or what?
There's some heat. There's one,
literally no heat now?
There's one heat. There's one vent right over Bob's head, and then that's the whole building, I think.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. How you doing?
Hey, did anybody? What am I doing?
No, I just said, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Can't complain, man. Good. It's not even that bad outside. I've been out there for like the last hour and a half for a little work project, and it get a little cold, but there's no wind, so it's okay. But hey, did anybody, and I know you guys always have your ear to the ground like the Indians, listen to the enemy coming close. Did anybody reveal yet where they're thinking about putting the Bears Stadium in Hammond or Gary?
So
where did they take the core samples from?
So I do know. So Mayor Eddie Melton was on with Fox, and they revealed the 3 locations. So they talked about Buffington Harbor. They talked about next to where the convention center and the Hard Rock is, and they also talked about Miller Beach. So those were the ones I heard from Gary. Now, as far as Hammond, my understanding.
You want to know where Hammond's going to go?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You tell me first. What's your guess?
In Hammond? Well, I mean, my understanding was the core samples were up near the State Line data center up that way, right? So kind of near where the data center is, would be north of the toll road. Is that accurate? Or south of the toll road, maybe, right in that area?
They took, and I'm pretty sure this guy's like an eyewitness witness. It's about a 7-iron south of the pavilion at Wolf Lake.
So
and the plan is
the Wolf Lake is what I had heard too.
Tear out the pavilion, to tear out the golf course. You know that road they named after Jimmy Deedlow's family? Yeah, they're going to tear that out. And then the golf course that Mayor Deedlow spent his life getting in, we're going to just level that thing flat.
So I saw that rendering.
That whole area back there.
I was trying to figure that out. I did see that rendering that looks like it basically is where the pavilion and the parking lot is. I just can't imagine a scenario where you rip out. I mean, again, the mayor's never going to rip out a bike trail for a stadium. So I mean, or a bike bridge. For that matter.
Bet?
I don't know.
You know how much money? You know how much grease is involved in a $4 billion project?
No, I get it. I'm just saying, I can't imagine, because it's such a nice location. I just can't imagine tearing that out for the stadium. I would imagine you've got to find a better
You're
space.
kidding, right, Chuck?
I know. I try to be open-minded.
You're not talking about. Yeah, you're not talking about a bunch of guys with morals or commitment to the community, bro. You're talking about a BMW 7 in every driveway for every child of everybody on the payroll. Like, you remember when they had that big scandal with when Mayor Karen, before she became mayor and got that sharp, flat haircut, and all the people she was legal counsel to were driving Yugos around, and then 4 weeks later, after they signed a contract, they got fleets of what were they? The Cadillac Escalades driving around Gary, and she said, "Yeah, I don't know anything about. I don't know why everybody switched from Toyota Corollas from 1962 to brand new Escalades that look like the president of the United States is coming to town." Trust me, they throw that thing in Hammond, man. You're gonna see more public servants driving. They're gonna be all driving Lambos, baby.
Well, good
What
work
a
if you can
mess.
get it. It's a big club, and you ain't in it, as George Carlin would say. We got to take a break, so I appreciate.
Yeah, how do we
call.
get in?
What's that? What do you
I said,
say?
how do we get in? But I'll let you guys solve that. Great show, by the way, Chuck, and you too, Bob.
Thank you.
Good hearing from you.
See, he knows when to give you a compliment. Let's take a break, and we're going to be back with our predictions for the year here on the Winter of Chuck's Discontent here on WGOB.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and the last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
Teen parents face overwhelming challenges, but with the right support, they can build bright futures for themselves and their children.
Mental Health America's ETAP program provides education, mentorship, and resources to help young parents graduate.
Right now, your donation goes twice as far. Thanks to a generous match, every dollar given up to $30,000 is doubled, but only until March 31st.
Scan the QR code, visit MHANWI.org, or mail your check to ETAP Match today.
Before Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, we were being charged various maintenance fees and various check writing fees for all of our accounts. And with Notre Dame, we don't have that. We have that true community partnership. We get interest based on all of our parish and school accounts, and the interest rate is really second to none.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its third generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
Hey, 7:57 here in the region. Let's do an early look at traffic and weather because we got a lot going on the area roadways that you need to know about. So basically, don't leave the house is our advice at this point. If you have to leave the house, if you are working today, we've got accidents sort of all over the place at the moment on 80, 94, and 65. So let's start with 80. So so go ahead and pull up what you got on 80, Bob. But I've got, so let's start west to east. We've got the left lane blocked at Torrance with an accident. We were hearing that there was earlier accidents. I was hearing westbound. Paul Goddard was hearing eastbound between Kennedy and Klein. There's an accident or two. Paul also said there's another accident around Ripley. Let's see which direction that was. So he's saying westbound Ripley. We have a semi versus car, then hit a utility pole on the roadway. So maybe if your camera's down at Ripley, we know why, because it got hit by a truck. So we're hearing an accident at Ripley. We've also got accidents on I-65 down in the Crown Point area and the Lowell area. We've got southbound I-65, right lane blocked at about 231. Also another accident. There's a disabled vehicle at 2, so you've got accidents in Crown Point and in Lowell southbound. Where's this at? This is far south of Lowell. So basically southbound I-65 is just an absolute standstill from Crown Point all the way through Lowell. You had an earlier accident northbound I-65 at about Franciscan. So from what Paul was sending to us earlier, we have a camper on its side on southbound I-65. You've got a truck, a truck pointed the wrong way on northbound I-65. So basically, I-65 has reached Mad Max proportions. I think that's sort of like our scale is Mad Max. So you're Mad Max if you're on I-65. So I would avoid I-65 north and southbound in the Crown Point, the Lowell area as much as possible. 80-94, it's just going to be, you're going to have accidents here and there, basically everywhere from Ripley Street all the way into Illinois. The good news is Dan Ryan Bishop Ford moving along well. Once you get past all of that and you're heading into the city or heading into the suburbs, everything's looking good once you get past all of these accidents on 80 and or 65.
And I will say INDOT is still saying that 65 is closed southbound between 2 and 205th Avenue, just 5 miles north.
This is where the camper is. So there's a camper on its side on southbound I-65, which again, mental note, don't take your camper, your boat, don't take those out in this weather. Don't take a camper out on a cold, winter, icy day. Just mental note, tip from Chuck. How's the weather?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 2 degrees with highs of 9 and lows of 0. Should be windy and frigid today with some clouds and sunshine. And then tomorrow and Tuesday, we'll be having highs of 24 and lows of 20. Should be turning cloudy and not as cold. And then Wednesday, we'll be having highs of 29 and lows of 13 with a couple of flurries in the morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy.
Perfect. Thank you. We're not going to take any calls for a few minutes because I want to get through this. It is 8 o'clock. You're listening to AM 1230, 104.7 FM in beautiful Hammond, Indiana. There's no calls. Don't call in. Don't call in. You're going to wait and get mad at me later. So what we're going to do, Lynette and Bob, we are going to make some predictions. So what I did, I asked Bob, I said, you got any clipboards? He said, no, I don't have any. So I brought in, so this is a radio station, so we have a whole bunch of records. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give all of you guys a record. So Lynette, here is the Polish State Fair folk ballad. So basically a Polish polka record. I'm going to give you, let's sing our favorite Christmas
Oh, my
favorites.
favorite.
I'm going to use, I've got Perry Cuomo. I've got Christmas with Perry Cuomo.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to use these, and I'm going to give you guys some paper. So there's some paper for everybody. And here's some for you, and here's some for... And is Lynette, do you have a marker? Give her a marker.
Here,
colors.
you got the... Here.
Okay.
There you go.
So I'm gonna throw out everybody's welcome to throw out topics. So we're gonna make predictions, and we're gonna bookmark this, and we're gonna watch it again in a year, and we're gonna see how many things we got right, we got wrong. So who wants to start? Anybody have anything to start with? Predictions for the year about topics. So I'll give you the first one, and you guys think about it. I'm gonna go with. Let's start with. Where do the Chicago Bears move to? Do the Chicago Bears move, and where do they move to? Do they move to Indiana? Where do they move? So go ahead. So I'm just gonna write. Everybody write. We're gonna. And if you want, put the total cost of the project. If you want, I'm gonna say, okay. Okay. So we'll start with Lynette. Ladies first. What do the Bears do? Do they move? Do they not move? Where do they go?
I don't think they're going to move.
Do you think they're going to stay at Soldier Field?
Probably.
So they're not leaving Soldier Field at all. So the whole thing, Arlington Heights, the whole thing is a bluff.
I'm just not a sports fan, so.
You don't. I mean, well, again,
So-
neither am I. But I'm a fan of the cost of the sport. So go ahead. So put it up. So you've got they don't move at all.
I didn't even write it actually.
You didn't write it.
Nope.
Each topic is going to be its own piece of paper. So you can write nice and big and messy and stuff. And you can sign it, yeah. So sign it, so and sign it, and we put the date is 1/19/26. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so go ahead, Lynette, when you're ready, go ahead and hold it up. Tell us what you got.
I put nope.
So nope, they're not moving at all. Okay, so Lynette is a big nope. Okay, so Bob, what do you got? Hold it up to the camera. Hold it up. What do you got?
Arlington Heights Bears move in 2029 at a cost of $5.1 billion.
Oh, okay. So you're taking the under. I've got Bears Arlington Heights $8 billion.
Ooh,
$8 billion is my prediction. $8 billion will be the total cost of that. Okay. Okay. Anybody else has a topic? Bob, what do you want to predict for this year? Pick something. I got a few. So if you think fast, Lynette, same with you. If you got a topic that you want to predict on.
I will predict that the South Shore will begin paid ridership.
Okay, go ahead. But that's going to be our finale. That's going to take me a minute.
Okay.
That's going to be our finale topic.
Lynette, did you notice how this entire time was like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me tell you.
Okay, no, I'm just saying the South. But I told you the South Shore was going to be for later, so we're going to do the South Shore later. Okay, go ahead. How about this? How about Okay, so I know Lynette's not into politics. Okay, so here's a question. Do the Democrats win the midterms? And if so, how many Trump indictments are there next year? So Lynette, if you don't feel, you don't. So I'm going to say. So go ahead. So. So how many will the Democrats win the midterms? And if so, how many Trump indictments?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Lynette, any thoughts?
Nope.
No thoughts on that. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Bob, thoughts?
I think, and I wanted to mention this during the, when we were all jibber-jabbing. Remember when everybody was apoplectic about Indiana possibly redistricting?
Right.
I mean, they were seizing, frothing at the mouth.
What did they say? Jackie Sutton. Everybody talks about it one day, and then we forget about it the next. Jackie Sutton.
And then all of a sudden, Virginia does it. It adds like Dem plus 10, and everyone in Northwest Indiana is silent.
Right.
None of these folks that were out there like, oh, we can't do this. You can't. This is anti-democracy and no kings, and we can't have this. And then all of a sudden, when it goes your way and not the other way, quiet. We're talking about nothing. So
okay. What do you got?
Midterms. The other side always takes it. I'm thinking Dems take it plus 10, and by mid-April of 27, we're going to be having indictment Fridays.
How many indictments total, though? Do you what's an over/under? How many official indictments do they push through? Just numerous, like every day.
Yeah, just every day. It's just going to be a flood of it.
I'm saying Dems win. I'm saying 3 official Trump indictments next year, in this coming year.
Only 3.
Only 3. Only 3 official that make it. Okay. Okay. So anybody have any? Lynette's writing a whole bunch of stuff. So what are you writing on?
I have 2 predictions.
Okay. So go ahead, Lynette. Okay.
The first one is pretty big, but I feel it in my bones.
No, we'll throw it out though. So you got to ask us the question though, so we can predict it as well. So what is the topic?
Oh, okay. What chain restaurant do you think Northwest Indiana will finally get?
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Do I have to recuse myself with?
Wait, do you know? He's like, I know. I signed the contract. I know which one.
I know
what
these
we're
things.
getting. Ooh, chain restaurant that we don't have currently, or I mean, I'm excited that Pizza Hut's coming back. My family, I love I love trying different pizzas. My kids love the Pizza Hut, so I'm excited to see that coming back after a little break. What chain that we don't have? And of course, Bob's like, here's the list of ones that I haven't announced. This is a trick to get Bob to announce what's coming to Dyer. Chain that we don't have. Man.
I am going to say Jack in the Box and Crown Point.
Oh, hang on. I got one. Here, I got one. I got 2. I'm at several now. Okay. No, we already have that. Okay, so I'm going to sign it and date it. Okay. Okay, so Lynette, what's coming to the region?
I said either Jack in the Box or Hardee's.
Ooh, okay. We did have Hardee's.
We did.
I mean, even like in Cherville had a Hardee's,
but,
I think.
I mean,
decades ago.
30 years
yeah.
ago.
Okay, go ahead. So you have So Bob, what do you
so
have?
we got 2 votes for Jack in the Box.
Okay, what do you got? What'd you got?
No, I said Jack in the Box and Crown Point. Yeah.
I'm calling In-N-Out Burger, and Shakey's. Shakey's is coming back. You don't even know what Shakey's is. You missed out. What a time to be alive.
Oh, don't say that. We're going to get a bunch of callers tomorrow. Be like, the young kids. They don't know what's going
on.
They
don't know what's going on. Shakey's was the place.
So
okay.
In-N-Out, the issue with In-N-Out is their distribution.
Yeah, they can't.
They don't have that distribution network up here. But now that we have, I've got one. What retail that Northwest Indiana doesn't have do we think we're going to get here in the next year?
What retail? A retail establishment that we don't have currently.
Yes.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, no, I'm retail establishment that we don't have currently. I got nothing on that. You stumped us.
How could I stump you? There's like a billion commercial commercial retailers out there
that we don't have. I don't know. I feel like we have everything. I don't know. Lynette, any thoughts? I mean, what don't we have? Okay, go ahead, Bob. What did we? Wait, again, it's your predictions. That's fine. So what are we bringing?
Trader Joe's.
No. I already know it's not going to happen.
That would be nice.
I know. No, it's not going to happen. I know
Chuck,
the numbers aren't
Chuck,
there. I know you. Okay. Bob's he's like, okay, we're breaking it here. Bob says Trader Joe's coming to Dyer in 2026.
No, not Dyer.
Not Dyer.
Same here. Nope. But
it's not coming to St. John. Okay, so Lynette said she had another one. Go ahead, Lynette. What do you got?
I can't phrase it as a question, I don't think.
Okay.
What you got?
The world ends.
The world ends in 2026. This is where you say it ends on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day 2026.
It's a Ghostbusters joke.
Oh.
So, okay.
Kids,
how does the world end, though? How about that? Though I predict the world ends. How does it end? Aliens?
I guess, sure.
Climate change?
Or the sun explodes on us.
The Greenland aliens.
So you predict that we will not be here a year from now. You'll predict that we all see. This is young
I
people.
think every year gets an end of the world prediction.
Well, you get closer to midnight as they do with the clock and whatnot. So again, is it possible? It's always. Have you ever read? I know Tom talks about this on Wednesdays. Like how every Wednesday is like, here's another story of how close we were to being, to North Carolina being nuked and stuff. Every week he's got a story about how close we were to being accidentally obliterated. So I could see how you would get that in your head after being on with Wednesdays with Tom.
I will say that the
show.
world will not end. That's my thought.
I feel it in my bones.
You feel it in your bones. So I mean, all my predictions are for naught then, because we're not going to be here anyway. Well, like we won't even be here. So you're like, okay.
Well, hopefully after we get a Jack in the Box or Hardee's.
We'll get a Jack in the Box, and then the world will end the next day. Is that on Valentine's Day?
Is Jack in the Box is that the one that has like the $1 tacos?
Yes.
I believe they have tacos.
Okay.
But and there was a Jack in the Box in Highland for a short time. And again, I'm going to be completely wrong. There was like a food poisoning scare similar to what happened at Chipotle. And this was, again, like 20 years ago. So I feel like there was
Chipotle or Chi-Chi's?
No, Chipotle had a scare with their the cilantro. I don't know. So there was.
I was going to say the green stuff.
That green stuff that we throw out. There was a Jack in the Box. I want to say there was one like in Highland, and again, 25-ish years ago. Okay, so let's go to the. Any other thoughts before we do the big one? Because this is going to take a little while to write, but. Okay, go ahead. So anybody else got any other thoughts? So Lynette's just like, I'm out. The world ends. I got nothing else. Like, I don't care.
Way to torpedo the bit.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we're all dead. Like, we're all dead. Okay, so Bob and Lynette, you're welcome to chime in on this one. I originally came into this with South Shore ridership. So I'm going to preface this by saying I'm going to give you the initial. It was spinach. Thank you, Dave. It was spinach. It was the green stuff. You were right, Bob. It was spinach. So, but again, am I wrong that there was a Jack in the Box in Highland? Do I vaguely remember that like 30-ish years ago?
I don't remember
the
that at all.
Shakey's and the Jack in the Box are like right in the same little area.
There's a new one in Orland Park.
There's a Jack in the Box in Orland?
Yeah, they just got one.
Cool. Okay. I have to go check that. I don't.
Illinois.
Yeah, it's always Orland Park.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to start.
Where at in Highland?
It was across the street from the McDonald's. By round the clock.
Really?
Again, I could be completely wrong. There's probably somebody screaming in the radio, Chuck, you're an idiot. I feel like the Jack in the Box and the Shakey's were right there across the street from where the McDonald's is on 41. Again, I could be completely wrong about that.
Is Shakey's supposed to be like Steak and Shake?
Shakey's was what a magical place. Imagine an all-you-can-eat pizza buffet with like an arcade. And everybody, like, it was just like a big room. It was just a big room of magic.
Did you hear the way she said, oh?
I didn't expect it to be pizza.
It was an all-you-can-eat. I mean, it was pizza. And
it was Boomer, Dave, and Buster's. How about that?
And it also, and actually, they still exist in some weird place, like in Oregon and Hawaii or something. Or maybe California. So there are Shakey's that still exist. But, yeah, Shakey's was a magical place when I was a child.
What was the one where House of Kobe and Maryville was? Was that Shakey's or Shoney's?
Good question. 219-845-1100. What? I think that was a Shakey's.
Was that Shakey's or Shoney's?
Shoney's was closer to the highway, I think. And of course, I have to mention, man, Celebration Station. What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was telling my kids, like, you guys have no idea. There's one left in Texas. I want to take them down.
Really?
I'll just go to Texas and go to Celebration Station. Because my daughter loves Five Nights at Freddy's, and I said, those were we used to have those. That's not the They didn't, nothing bad happened.
So just Chuck E. Cheese.
Like a Chuck E. Cheese. It was bigger than Chuck E. Cheese. It was like a super Chuck E. Cheese. They had go-karts and everything. What a time to be alive. I apologize. I'm digressing down memory lane here. Okay, so let's get back to, everyone's like.
Anybody remember Kittyland?
People, well, and we were talking about that this weekend because I was giving a lecture about Indiana Beach, and it's like, hey, Kittyland in Illinois is now a Costco, and old Chicago.
We may have some. So if you're calling in with the Shakey's, Shoney's, Hardee's, Jack in the Box, just hang on 1 second.
I wanted to do because everybody's like, what a great show you're having today. Well, we're derailing that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with the South Shore. Okay, so the estimated ridership of the South Shore pre-COVID was 7,500 rides a day, okay? Okay, so, and of course, so it's based on the...
And is that from the from Indiana into Chicago?
No. This is specifically the new line. Anybody getting on the new Monon. So this is specifically 7,500 rides.
Okay.
Half of which, 50%, are coming from the existing line. So now you can cut that in half, which puts you at what, 3,250. So you got 3,250. So the predicted number of new rides by their estimate is 3,250 a day. Okay. So Bob, you're saying it opens in March. I want two things. I want a prediction for midsummer, and then I want a prediction for rides. So basically what I want to see is 1 year from now, how many new rides does the South Shore have? So again, taking into account that half the ridership is from the existing ride, I want some numbers. So I want to hear, like say 3 to 6 months after it opens, and then a year after it opens, where are we at ridership-wise? So I'm going to give you my predictions. And on that, I mean, again, feel free. So let me do the quick math. So this is the number of daily rides. So let's do that. Let's do 8 times 5 times 4.
Were these numbers calculated pre-COVID?
This was all, yes, this was pre-COVID numbers. So again, okay, so that's going to be my prediction there. Okay, and then I'm going to sign it and date it. Okay, so Bob, thoughts on ridership?
Okay, so we had an update that we think they're probably going to do a ribbon cutting and paid ridership in March of 26.
Of 26. So the ribbon cutting first rides will be in March of 26. The train will arrive in Chicago around April of 26.
That's what we're hearing.
Okay.
So
did you get my joke? The train will arrive in April. Okay. There you go. Just make
my guess is for 3 of 26, 2,500.
2,500. Okay.
For 8 of 26, my guess is 3,500. And the reason I say this is the reason I say this is because I believe because it's going to open so close to the summer break, my guess is I'm going to goose the numbers a little bit, assuming that there's going to be this like slug down the pipe of just people interested in trying it for the first time. And I'm going to back this up by saying in 8 of 27, a year from then, 2,250.
Okay. So go ahead. What is your 6-month prediction? So where were you at? So you were at, so your 6-month prediction was what? Like so summertime, like daily ridership.
So, summertime, I think they're going to see 3,500 in the summer because I think there's going to be a this is new, this is exciting, this is something that we haven't had before. So I would not be surprised if example Liam found something. There's some Pokemon exhibit coming to one of the museums.
Yeah, let us know.
And
we'll go. My daughter will go with you.
I can see taking the day with the family, hopping on there, going up there. It's new to try it, but I doubt we'd do it again.
But that's what I'm saying is that everybody will try it once and say this was miserable. I'm never doing this again. And then that's what I'm saying. That's the question is where's the follow-up?
My high water mark is going to be midsummer, whatever the 6 month, midsummer 3,500.
Okay, so my high water mark is 3,250. With an average, we're going to get it like over the summer at about 2,000. My prediction is that we're going to land in the neighborhood of 1,350 rides a day a year from now. So that gives you a bump in ridership of roughly 1.4 million rides estimate. But again, I think even a million is high. But I'm saying 1,350 is my prediction 1 year from now. Okay, so 1,350 rides. So again, 1,350, $1 billion divided by 13, and you do the math on that. Okay. So, Lynette, anything else that we want to predict? I mean, you basically said, game over, man. Don't even bother. Like, don't even bother. I was going to ask you, like, about your love life and stuff like that. Like, I'm all dead. Like, none of those things. Like, you're going to get a better job. You're going to get married. Anything. Like, nope, I'm dead. Nope, that's it. Again, this is why young people aren't contributing to their 401ks. Like, we're all dead anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why would why would I save money? Because we're all dead. Like, why would I buy a house? We're all dead.
Well, eventually, everyone's going to die in debt.
We're all going to die in debt. Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
But I would say before we're done, I'm wondering if those two people.
No, it's fine. So if we're good with predictions, we'll take. But yes, you're right, Lynette. In about 2 billion years, our sun will go supernova, and everything you've ever known will become dust. So yes, you're right. We will all be erased eventually. So, but why don't we, on that note, let's take some calls. And if you have any other predictions, or if callers want to ask us to predict anything, predict the future, was that Karnak like Carson used to do?
He put the predictions in an old mayonnaise jar.
Yeah, we'll save it for next year. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, MX. How are you? Where was Shakey's at? Where was Jack in the Box at?
I never went there, but I want to make a prediction.
Yes, go ahead. What is your prediction? Or ask us to predict.
Yeah, ask us. This will be fun.
What do you think the prediction is for Emma?
What do you think the prediction is for MX?
Okay.
Go ahead.
We'll be on
you guys went blank.
No. I was going to say
went blank. I'm going to help.
MX cartoon 47.
We're now we had MX Cartoons ends up on MySpace because we've been completely removed from Facebook. We're working underground.
Okay, here's the prediction.
Go ahead.
MX is arrested. You know why?
Ooh, MX is arrested. Okay, go ahead.
No, he's going to get arrested. You know why?
Why is that?
Because he's going to be outside WJOB with a sign that says, "When do I get to be producer?" Now, you said something very smart, okay, Bob?
Let's just end the show there. Thank you very much, everybody. We've had a great morning here on WJ.
All of us were ready to say thank you, and then he said, "Bob." Okay,
can you say that? Can you say that in my wife's voice?
Up on the guy. You're beating up on the guy, and his roots are only about 2 blocks from me.
That's right.
You said something real important. If you want to keep that job right there, Dilo already told you, don't talk politics, and especially don't talk Trump. Now, I'm going to say something good about Trump here. That's why I lost my job, Bob. Now, this is a 51-year steel worker in the union Local 1010, hired in 1975. Okay? Coming from the Times now. Coming from the Times, I might even buy it after they give us all the fake on the train and what's that airport. U.S. Steel and Cleveland Cliffs CEO credited tariffs with shrinking the import market share from 25% to 30 to 16%. So in 1 year, okay, Biden he got rid of the tariffs that Trump put in. So, and then Trump had to turn around and put these tariffs in. So, already, Cleveland Cliffs, U.S. Steel, they're praising Donald Trump. When me and Mad Mac had our show, we had Trump on that screen hugging the flag. And the first thing Dilo said, take that down. Take that down. So, you got to figure this out for yourself. But when you can't tell the truth, you're smart, Bob. You know how to play the game. Don't talk Trump. What he meant by don't talk politics is don't mention how good Trump is. Because me and Mad Mac, we loved him. You see what I'm saying? And I got the boot. You know what I mean? You can't talk about local cost overruns and everything, but I will be outside that studio every morning when it gets warm, when I'm not fishing, because fishing supersedes the rest of it, with my sign, "Where's my producer job?" Have a great day, gentlemen. And you know what, Bob? I'm going to stick up for you because you're from the hood. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Yeah, thanks.
The mean streets of North Carolina. Okay. I'm getting just bombarded with that. You bring up. I'm just going to bring up like Shakey's from now on every Monday, and everybody's going to bombard me with stuff.
Well, don't bombard them with the text.
Okay. Well, no, go. Yeah.
We got a canoe full.
But let's take a break, and then we'll go to the canoe. So they all knew to wait. So thank you for waiting. Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll check in on traffic, and then we'll take your calls here on Shakey's Radio here on a Monday morning on WJOB.
IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors bring the highest standard of electrical work to Lake County homes, schools, and businesses. From everyday fixes to once-in-a-lifetime builds, we don't just get the job done, we get it done right and up to the highest safety standards. When you need electrical work, hire the professionals who power Indiana. Powering Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community.
Introducing Powers Health, a health system with a new name and a strong legacy of caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
Do you want to get a vaccine, but it's difficult to get to your healthcare provider? Call the folks at Right Care Pharmacy. They'll come to your home, discuss your vaccination status with you, and administer the appropriate vaccine with expertise. They offer vaccines for flu, shingles, pneumonia, hepatitis A and B, TDAP, RSV, and COVID. They've been serving the Lake and Porter County community for over 11 years and are fluent in Spanish. Call Right Care Pharmacy at 219-655-5028.
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
High school basketball postseason is here, with the girls starting February 3rd and boys March 3rd. Be on every game for as low as $1,500. Sponsor local. Reach millions. Visit heartlandsportsnet.com today for more information.
Hi, it's 8:27 here in the region. You're listening to the Winter of Chuck's Discontent. We do like several different iterations of a radio show throughout the show today. So I mean, there's something for everybody, I'd say.
Is there?
There's something for everybody, and then nothing for no one. And if you want to complain, we're here for that too. We're taking complaints. Your complaint line is the complaint canoe is open. So let's take some calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller.
Gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right. Just touching base with you about Shakey's. First of all, there is one still open in California.
California, okay.
Over by Disneyland.
Yeah, I remember there was at least one or two open. I was trying to remember where. California, okay.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I just had a friend that was out at Disneyland about a week or so ago, and they said that they stopped over there. And the other place they stopped at that was an old region favorite was the Sizzler.
The Sizzler?
Sizzler, was that the one that was over there in Maryville on Broadway and 30?
Anybody remember Broadway and 30?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Broadway and 30 was where the House of Kobe is, Bob, was the old Shakey's.
Shakey's.
That was a Shakey's. Okay,
Okay.
fantastic. Okay.
It was a Shakey's, yes. And then the big boy that was on Route 30 where Kinko's now is, or FedEx, or whatever the heck you want to call it this week, that was Azar's big boy.
The big boy. And again, the big boy, there's a couple of those left in Indiana. I feel like I went to one like near Fort Wayne or something like that. I feel like there's one out that way. Big Boy, again, another chain that Lynette's probably never heard of before, right? You know who Big Boy is? No?
It had a big boy up.
Yeah, Big Boy out front. That's why they called it Big Boys. And now I'm going to say...
That's Chuck and I's stage name?
Yeah.
Big Boys out front.
And then now I'm going to bring up... Now you brought up Sizzler. Now I'm going to bring up Ponderosa.
Oh, that Ponderosa. That was...
The $4 steaks or whatever they had. That was fantastic.
The last one in the area that I know of just closed a couple years ago, and that was in Plymouth.
In Plymouth, okay. Yeah, and I know the one in... was it Crown Point hung on for a while, too. So there's one in Crown Point.
There was that one up in Gary for a long time, too.
Yeah. So, okay.
Right there at Route 12 and 51.
Yeah.
Do you remember a Jack in the Box in Highland? Or am I completely wrong about that?
I vaguely remember there being one, but I never went to it. I was always more towards the east side of the county.
Okay, yeah, I'm swearing that I remember there being a Jack in the Box in Highland near the Shakey's, but now it's going to drive me.
If we're walking down memory lane, I know there's one in Valpo, but I really enjoyed Fazoli's.
Well, Fazoli's was good too, and I stopped at one not too long ago. Did the Valpo close or is it still open?
I'm assuming it's still open.
Okay, so yeah, Fazoli's and the breadsticks.
That's the one that's right by Pesto's, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still open.
It's still open. I got to go out there and get some breadsticks.
Yeah, the breadsticks were.
No, if you're gonna go out there for Italian food truck, you got to go to Pesto's.
Well, no. I'm saying my children don't like real Italian food, and I don't go to like the other chains. So I would just take them. Maybe I'll drop them off. We'll go to Fazoli's. They can get the spaghetti and whatever. But no, you're right. I do want to try some new Italian.
If they don't want, if they don't want real Italian food, then just take them to Olive Garden.
Well, I didn't want to say that because I don't want to get sued. But you said it, so I didn't have to.
Yeah, but when you're there, you're family.
Yeah, right. Which means you got to do the dishes and stuff afterwards. Okay. Anything else on your mind?
You're going to get in an argument. Too.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to fight. Well, I mean, again, Italians like that sounds like a threat. Like if you're here, your family.
I do like their soup and salad.
Okay.
I'll give them the pasta fagioli. I'd give them 10 points to Gryffindor on that one.
Okay.
I like that.
That's
all I got.
Whatever happened to the? Geez Louise. You brought it up earlier, Bob. The Chi-Chi's.
Yeah, Chi-Chi's. You can still get their chips and
and Phillies and.
Did I hear? I've got
they
my.
were all the same, weren't they?
I've got my emotional support laptop here. I think Chi-Chi's is reopening somewhere.
Is it Chi-Chi's? There was a franchise thing going on, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So this was, and I don't know, and maybe sometime maybe late 90s there was some food illness thing that came through, shut down the restaurant. Hepatitis A outbreak
over in River Oaks.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Chi-Chi's over in River Oaks?
Yeah, there was. What? Was there one out in Maryville? I don't remember. I remember the River Oaks one.
Oh, I know there's a Chili's, but I don't remember Chi-Chi's.
So this is. I asked the AI. It says Chi-Chi's was a 1980s giant that began its decline in the 90s as the formula of large portions and endless chips felt dated. How is endless chips a dated philosophy?
I will say here, a new Chi-Chi's opened in late 2025 in Minnesota. So maybe there's hope. I just remember you can still buy the branded chips and salsa in the stores because that's what they're known for. Just
the endless chips and salsa.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate the call. We got a full boat we got to get through. I don't even know how late we're. But hey, thank you so much. I don't even know how late we're staying. We'll just stay till she says it's time to go. Okay.
She got someone at 11.
You got someone at 11?
I don't.
No.
Okay, so we can just go all day then. Okay. Okay. Next caller. Good morning. You are on the air.
Good morning, everyone. 2026 has started. What a banger!
Okay, I've got a fresh sheet of paper here, Brad Gimbel. So I'm going to write down. You just shout out predictions. I'm going to write them down.
Yeah. What?
And I will sign your name to them.
Okay. Here we go. The Chi-Chi's in Maryville was actually Casa Gallardo. Remember Casa Gallardo? I might be a little too early for you guys, but Shakey's will bring back the taco pizza in Highland. And if you ever need those tacos from Jack in the Box, they got them at Burger King as well. Same food processor. Okay. Now I'm going to go really quick on this predictions.
Go ahead.
Real quick on predictions. Let me get back into character here. We're going to have a Democrat liberal style Kyle Rittenhouse incident over ICE enforcement. How convenient. Yes, just remember that one. I was going to say interest rates on credit cards will be lowered, but they already have. 2 of mine have been lowered in the last week for no reason. Don't use them. But they got lowered from a promotional rate of 24%, was it, to 14. So, hey, there we go. But the big one. The big prediction, and don't hold me to this, Griffith, because he always wants me to bet and encourage his gambling issue. The big one, folks, and this one comes from the Times Online, the Times of London, the Sunday Times even. The bank, they're going to play the alien
Okay,
card.
so let
They're
me
gonna
real
play
quick.
the
So
fake alien invasion card.
You were asleep, Brad, because we teased this early in the show. I was saving this because I teased. No, it's fine. I teased it. I was waiting for you because I know my Brad Gimble. I know he was going to call in and talk about this. So let's set this up. The Bank of England must plan for financial crisis being triggered by an official announcement confirming the existence of alien life. So essentially, the policy and the senior analyst for financial security at UK Central Bank is saying she believes that Donald Trump is going to reveal the existence of aliens, and it's going to have an impact on the economy. So she's basically saying that Donald Trump is going to come forward and say that there are aliens, and it's going to have a financial impact on the global economy. Thoughts on that, Brad Gimble?
Yeah. Well, the rumor on the street is that and this is really conspiratorial here, but it all has to do with Greenland.
Yes.
Because they have found some kind of ship melting in the ice, that's a weather machine or something in England or Greenland. Is that what the rumor is? And we're all going to have like a world war over it. It's going to be quite theater.
So here's the thing, Brad. I literally made up that joke a couple hours ago, and I thought it was a joke. And now you're coming forward saying, "Oh, by the way, that's really what's happening."
Did you hear that on the interwebs? That there's aliens in Greenland.
Maybe Brad is like using a megaphone outside my house in the middle of the night and shouting ideas into my head. So we're saying that there is an alien mothership under Greenland. Alien mothership.
Yep.
I thought it was under like out in the Pacific. Alien mothership under Greenland, and that is why we're taking over Greenland for the safety of the children. Right? We're taking over.
Oh, for the children.
For the children of Greenland.
Oh, yeah, that's
so many kids there.
That will be a transformative
Here's
thing.
the genius, though, Brad. If President Trump came forward right now and said, "Hey, by the way," I was trying to remember if it was. Do you remember the story? Was it like Nixon that took Jackie Gleason to see aliens? Do you remember that? You ever hear that story? Jackie Gleason swore.
No, please elaborate.
I swear, you'll have to look it up. It's like basically Jackie Gleason's hanging out with President Nixon, and Nixon's like, "Hey, do you want to see some aliens?" And he took him on a flight somewhere, and they showed him the aliens. But the whole thing is. And it's so crazy, it's probably true. The idea, though, is if Trump came forward right now and said, "Hey, by the way, I went to Area 51 this weekend. There are aliens," most people would not believe him. Most people just go, "I don't believe you."
No. Right. He's lying.
You're lying.
All the Democrats would definitely think he's lying.
Right. Okay, so alien mothership under Greenland, very possible. Go ahead. No, so I got that. Written down.
Yeah, I think that.
But if they walked, if Trump walked out the alien from Roswell, and they were talking, would anybody really be like shocked and surprised? I think then next week we'd be like, well, yeah, but we still don't know if there was a Jack in the Box in Highland.
So here's the thing, though. I think Brad and I talked about this during COVID. Remember, Brad, the TikTok video came out during COVID, and we basically said, well, what else? Like the perfect time to drop the, "Oh, by the way, there's aliens," is in the middle of COVID. Somebody's like, "Okay, well, what else?"
Yeah.
So that was our prediction during COVID when the TikTok video came out. Was like, "Oh, well, this is a good time for that." Like, okay, that makes perfect sense.
They had to wait. Production said, "You know what? We don't have the budget to pull that one off yet." So, and I don't know if the people are going to fall for it. We're going to need to add a little more drama to it. I mean, think about if they did that. When I've thought about this for years, all the religious folk would just flip out. I mean, it could theoretically cause some kind of chaos or whatever, because it would really start to question people's faith in everything that they were indoctrinated with. I mean, you got your Catholics, your Hindus, your Muslims, your Jews, everybody that believed that we were just kings of the crop. They could easily sway everyone to believe. And then they're going to pull off, they know more than us. These are such advanced people. We must follow their rhetoric. And you know what? They asked us elite people that were already in charge and already have all the assets in the world to lead this and teach everyone. I guaranteed they're going to do that. They're going to say like Donald Trump's like some kind of alien relative or something.
Well, you know what would happen? Here's what would happen.
Lizard people.
Here's what would happen, Brad, is that they would come and they'd go, "Hey, so we're going to tell you how to make free energy and unlimited energy." And Congress would be like, hang on a second. Hang on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So we're going to tell you how to have free and clean energy. And Congress would be like, hang on a second. Before you do that, let me go sell all of my stock. It's like, hang on a second here. We can't do that. I mean, it's kind of like what happened to Tesla. It's like, hang on a second. You're doing what? It's free? No, we cannot have that. Okay.
No.
Any other thoughts? Anything else?
Can I get one final?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, one final one. Yes, I think that there is going to be a major incident come to light from one of our past governors in a big cover-up for a big agency that is, well, it's going to shock Republicans to the core when this comes out. And I'll send you that link. I forgot to send it. I got caught up in the Bears game, and we'll save it for next week. But that one, I'm just going to say, that one's going to come to light. We're going to see something that from one of our past governors. I'm not going to say it until you read it. You can do it. I'll save it for you. There is a cover-up that went down, and it is big, and it is big. But anyway, I'll save that one for next week.
Is
and
that
awesome show. Hopefully,
would I be bad in teasing that it's the DCS one? Sorry.
I think it just involves trafficking of humans.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna involve it. Yeah, and there's a cover up there, so we'll see. You guys, we'll brief you. I'll brief you on it next week, and you guys can decide if you want to go with it. But
Brad
is
isn't trying to get
Twitter.
me to join
What
did you want me to join? He's like, you got to join a Slack channel or something.
Discord. That's what we all need. We need a place where everyone in the region, because we all have different. Everyone that's calling in all has a different feed, right? It's all been tailored to us.
Good point.
We all have different information, and if we have the ability to share these articles, we'd always have great topics for the shows. We'd always know what people are discussing, and people could take certain categories and certain genres, and then we'll really get some things done. I already do it online with a think tank that I belong to, and we just pass articles on all day long, and it's amazing how much I realize, even though I am so tech savvy and I aggregate RSS feeds like old school and just get tons of stuff, there's a lot of stuff I still miss. And it really has, it's got to be a community. So that's my.
So Brad, I told you
opinion.
that
I would really love to see Discord.
We have a hidden secret room in the studio, so we can keep your identity secret. I think we just do at 10 o'clock one night. We just start reading Discord chat. We basically go, look, this is WJLB After Dark. We're gonna call it the Discord show. We're just gonna read.
I already have my.
He's already got it ready to go.
I already have it. It's called In Bed with Brad. In Bed with Brad.
I think that would be...
You can be like, hey, it's 10 p.m. 10 p.m. in the region, and you're ready to curl up in bed with Brad.
See, there you go. I mean,
that's the name of the segment.
If the boss is listening, he'll say, do it. Let's get it done. Okay, hey, buddy, I appreciate the call.
We will. We'll think about it.
Will you think about it?
You got it, man. You guys have a good week.
Hey,
you too. You take care. Okay, so
we've got.
Do you want to take those?
2 more.
Let's take those, and then we'll take a break and do traffic and weather and all that stuff.
Someone on the interwebs predicted silver will be at 200 ounce by the end of the year. It's like at 98 now. So somebody's saying that 200 ounce by the end of the year.
See, now there's people that are saying get out of Bitcoin and get into silver, which I'm like, okay, I think silver is overvalued. I think there's going to be a correction. I think there'll be an opportunity. I think, okay, so you're going to say silver at 200.
Well, that was a prediction from the interweb. So, but the one most important one here that people are seeming to agree with here, and I can't believe I spaced this, Fuddruckers. So there was one, if you took the back way from Dyer out to Tinley Park, we would stop there before concerts. And that recently closed.
Right. There was also one near River Oaks. There was one that was open for a while.
And someone said, where is it here? A delicious stretch of road. Man, that they did have some good stuff over there.
Well, it was fun. Again, Lynette, Fuddruckers. Does that mean anything to you?
I don't know.
I've heard of it, but I've never
So
been.
it was a make your own burger joint. It was like a salad bar with burgers, and you'd basically order a burger and you go to the salad bar and you put your own toppings on it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed going.
It was a lot of fun. The fat guys in flannels like, build your burger. That was fun.
Remember that? Yeah, no, I'd make a burger like that.
A big
Paul.
burger.
I get
food is fun.
It was fun. It was a fun. Dining used to be fun. Even Lynette, you're you're not going to believe this. McDonald's used to have a playland, and we'd have our birthday there, and people could smoke there, and it was what a time to be alive. And now McDonald's is just like this gray utilitarian, looks like me in a giant flannel. It's so boring. There used to be like the guys that used to go up in the little thing, and they used to have the merry-go-round, and you jump in the ball. What a time to be alive at McDonald's. I don't know why they thought bring back the McDonald's playland. That's all I'm saying. Okay, what are we doing? We still on the radio?
We're still on the radio. We have calls. I say we just keep going forever.
That's not your call, though. Lynette, you want to just keep going?
I think we can keep taking calls.
So that's like we're having fun. Go ahead. Okay.
That's not my call.
Okay, go ahead. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. I was just going to say that the Shakey's in Hammond was where Texas Corral is.
Right.
Okay, so the Shakey's in Hammond was where Texas Corral is. Okay. Anything? So how about this Jack in the Box?
And hopefully one day they'll come back.
I miss Shakey's. I said, can you help me with Jack in the Box? Do you remember there being a Jack in the Box around here?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, and again, so what were your memories of Shakey's? I just remember it as sort of like this big beer hall of pizza. You'd go and get pizza, and you'd sit at like a long table with a whole bunch of other people.
Pizza, chicken wings, the Spuds. The Spuds were the
oh, yeah, like the baked potato bar?
Oh, they had a baked potato bar. Wow.
The Spuds were round, and they were like a French fry kind of type, but delicious.
That sounds fantastic. Well, remember, here's the thing: is like going out. I guess maybe again, you kids in your internet ruined it. Like we used to go out. We'd be out all night. You'd go someplace. I remember, like you said, I mentioned Celebration Station. That was a big deal going out there. But just going out to dinner was like a whole big thing. I try to bring that back. Even just like getting my family to eat at the table. It's like, can we just sit at the table? It's like just getting your family to go out, have a meal together. I remember taking my kids to there's a thing called the Classic Pizza Hut, and it's set up just like the old Pizza Hut, and there was one in Pennsylvania. I said, now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to collect everybody's cell phones, and we're going to put our cell phones away, and we're going to sit here and talk like it's 1987 or something like that. We had a great time. So, but again, I think that's what we're missing in society, is getting together and having a big meal, whether it's with your family or your friends, and putting your cell phones away and just sitting there and talking.
Now, here's one that I didn't know.
Go ahead.
I didn't know, and my wife is hollering at me with it. Rocky Rococo.
Don't know that one.
I don't know, but she says it's a pizza place.
Where's she from?
I remember the name, but I don't remember a location.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to Google that.
Now they have to. Well, yeah, we'll have to use the AI for that. I do not remember that, so we'll have to tell her to send us more info on that. Send us some
or a pizza.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you.
But I did used to take. I used to take my kids to Celebration Station, and we used to have their birthday parties there. That was like the big deal.
Oh, yeah.
That was the place to go.
I mean, the best part was you just give the kids like $5, you go get some tokens, you just send the kids somewhere. You knew that they could go. And they disappeared, and the adults can have a drink and, watch the giant bear dance or whatever he used to do. So, okay, well, thank you.
I tell my grandsons about that place, and they can't even imagine it. But this is actually Grandma Hope. So,
hi, Grandma Hope. How are you?
Good morning.
Good
Fine,
morning.
thank you. But I do miss Shakey's the most. I hope they make a comeback.
No, that'd be fun.
I mean, area and Ponderosa.
And Ponderosa, maybe like an all-in-one, like a Ponderosa, Shakey's, whatever, Jack in the Box. That's what we should do, Bob. We'll just buy a big building and just put everything in there. Okay, Grandma Hope, it's great talking to you.
Stay warm.
Hope Sonny's doing well. Tell him to check in once in a while. Say hi.
I will.
So you take care. Have a nice day. We got a full boat. So let's do this. Let's take a break. Thank you so much, Grandma Hope. Let's take a quick break. So Grandma Hope, if you remember Sonny in the afternoons, used to call in. Great memories of days gone by. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll take all these calls. So let's take a quick break because I want to check traffic and all that stuff too. So let's take a quick break. The winter of Chuck's Discontent, Fat Guy Pizza Stories here on WJOB.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Tech Credit Union supports the essential role of union labor in building strong communities. That's why we offer hassle-free banking, financial empowerment, and a commitment to your success. Save for the future, handle life's challenges, and trust a partner that stands by hardworking union members. Tech Credit Union, the better option for you and your money. Visit techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union, supporting union families every step of the way.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
Hey, it is
Welcome back to the Food and Beverage Hour. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No. I was trying to be serious for a minute because we got to check traffic and weather because there's a spattering of accidents. Scattering? I don't know. What's that word? You think
Smattering?
Smattering?
Smattering.
A smattering of accidents across the region that we need to talk about. So hopefully most of you have the day off. You're sleeping in and enjoying this Dr. King Day holiday from the comfort of your bed. But if not, if you're one of those people that's out and about working, let's update you because there's a lot of traffic going on. So basically, let's start with 8094. We've got accidents westbound at Klein, basically between Kennedy and Klein. We had an accident earlier. We've got another accident. So we've got the right lane blocked at Klein, backed up to Burr. That is westbound. If you are eastbound, we also have an accident, which is basically we've got the right 2 lanes blocked. So basically we've got accidents on both sides between Klein and Kennedy. So if you're trying to get through the Klein Avenue area on 8094, it's backed up in both directions. It sounds like there's accidents each way. We also have incidents, to no one's surprise, on I-65. We've got the road is blocked at about 231 with we heard that there's a camper that flipped over. Again, Paul Goddard, my advice to everyone, don't bring your camper out in the middle of a winter storm. Just throwing it out there. We've got an accident southbound I-65 at about Route 2. We've got an earlier accident involving a semi northbound near Franciscan. So again, 65 in the Crown Point Lowell area, also very, very tough going at this point. So if you can avoid 65 around Crown Point and Lowell, I would definitely do so. Paul also told us that there was an earlier accident involving a semi out in the around Ripley. I think that was on 80, so you might have that. I'm not seeing it on the map, but so we had an accident earlier on 80 around Ripley as well. So just lots of accidents. Take your time. I mean, I don't know. The roads aren't that bad, but just, people are not driving for conditions, as they say. I know at this temperature, the salt isn't going to do a whole lot to melt any of that stuff either. So just take your time if you're out and about. Okay, Lynette, what's going on with the weather?
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 1 degrees with highs of 9 and lows of 0. Should be windy and frigid with some clouds and sunshine. And then tomorrow and Tuesday we'll be having highs of 24 and lows of 20 with should be turning cloudy and not as cold. And then Wednesday we'll be having highs of 29 and lows of 13 with a couple of flurries in the morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy.
Thank you so much. So we started off the day. The plan was to do some serious radio and talk about predictions, and now we've digressed into talking about Shakey's and Ponderosa, which I'm fine with. Whatever you guys want to talk about. You guys drive this ship, and I'm just sort of the captain hanging out.
There's 18 callers.
There's 18.
That want to
we
talk
only
about
have
something.
5 phone lines and 18 people on hold. So let's take some calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're good. How are you?
Okay, fine. Hey, let me solve your question there, Chuck. Okay.
Okay.
The Shakey's was across the street from McDonald's.
Okay. Right.
On River Oak Drive. Okay. And then a block or 2 blocks west of that, on the same side, there was a Jack in the Box. They were right there together.
But you're
Shakey's
saying that's
and Jack in the Box.
in Lansing, not Highland, though.
No, that's in Calumet City.
In Calumet City.
River Oaks Drive.
Oh, so you're saying Calumet City,
Right.
River Oaks Drive. There was a. Okay, so maybe I'm remembering the locations, just not in Highland. So you're saying it was on River Oaks Drive. Okay, that does make a lot of sense because I know my mother loved going to River Oaks, especially when they put the roof on. That was a time. Okay, so yeah.
It was right across the street from McDonald's, the Shakey's.
Okay.
And then, a block or 2 west of that, on the same side, Shakey's was Jack in the Box. They were right there together.
Okay, so I was close. I just had the wrong town. I had the right idea of the wrong town, but okay, yeah. So okay, that makes a lot of. Calumet City at one point there were so many things there. Like I mentioned, Fuddruckers was there earlier. All that stuff was there in the River Oaks area. I still go over there. I enjoy. Go ahead.
Yeah, all that's gone now. That Shakey's was there quite a while. They had a couple gun shootings in there, if I'm not mistaken, and that's when it closed.
Okay, well, now that'll happen. You get into a fight over the last piece of pizza or whatever, and stuff like that happens. So, okay, well, thanks for clearing that up.
That happened.
Like I said, it's one of the things about your memories. You remember things, but just the mind wanders sometimes. Like I remember that, I just couldn't figure out where. So, thank you for clearing that up for me. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys, have a good day.
Thank you so much. No, that makes sense. We used to enjoy that. That was a neat area. Even going to River Oaks as a kid, I remember that. I vaguely remember when they covered up River Oaks. So we're going to put a roof on. It was open. It was open the way that the Lighthouse Mall, like in Michigan City, is now. And they're like, "Hey, we're putting a roof on it." Well, that's neat. And I remember as a kid, like watching them build a roof on the mall. So
that's where the movie theaters. That was a good place to go to the movie.
I saw Ghostbusters 2 for the first time at that movie theater. That's now every time I go over there, I see that big pile of rubble. I remember going there and watching Ghostbusters. So again, that memories with Chuck and Bob here on a Monday morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. I think he's snoring. Did you fall asleep?
The content was not as inspirational as Friday's show. So
they were waiting all this time to tell us about Shakey's and Jack in the Box, and they fell asleep.
Well, go ahead and call us back.
Call us back when you wake up. Go ahead. Wait, was that
too late? Sorry.
Oh,
I think it was Mad Mac doing a bit, but he stretched it out too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timing. It's all about timing.
And he don't got it. Okay, go ahead. Next caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, that last person, I was going to say Jack in the Box and Shakey's in Calumet City. What hurt the one in Calumet City was towards the last couple of years they were open, you go in there and they'd have these signs taped to the sun lamps. Do not put food in hat. Do not put food in pocket. Do not put food in your purse.
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss thing.
So they decided they're bringing them beach bags,
Oh,
and you'd see people. They'd fill the beach bag up and they go straight to the bathroom. Or no, they would fill up their tray and they'd have that beach bag with them and they go into the bathroom and they come out of the bathroom, For some reason, they had to go to the bathroom for an hour, and they had nothing on their tray, tuck their bag away where they're going to sit, and then go up and get another plate full of food, So.
Well,
and they did have one of those places in Highland. They had it. It was on Indianapolis Boulevard,
right?
And I do believe it was across from the McDonald's.
See, that's
I want to say
okay,
it's over there.
Yeah. Where the car dealership is
around the clock is. I think it was over there by around the clock.
Right across the street. That was my memory, and again, I could be completely wrong there, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's the downfall to all you can eat is people look at that as a challenge. But I guess maybe I don't know. I mean,
it's all you can eat, not all you can haul away.
I was in the one in Maryville one time with my wife and I had my oldest daughter at the time, and these two young little thuggies walked in, and I'm standing in line in front of them, and I mean they're half the size of me. I'm a big guy, but these guys must have been like sophomores in high school and kept talking. Yeah, I got football practice, got to eat. They stacked that stuff up like 4 plates. And they got to their booth, which was right behind ours, and they decided they didn't something about they didn't pay what they were supposed to pay, and this guy that they didn't even know paid for them. And after about 5 minutes eating, they stood up and threw all the food off the tray all over the floor and everything. Total disgust.
Wow. Well, and again, I mean, I think that's part of. I'm going to try not to digress too much, but, I was saying earlier, it's like it'd be nice if we brought back the, taking your family out to dinner and putting the cell phones away and spending an hour, having a sit-down meal. But then also, like you said, even like my wife yesterday, she was about going to the movie theater. As soon as she starts talking about the theater, I just start thinking about these kids making noise, playing on their phones the whole time, just sort of like, people being rude. It's like it's hard to just go out in public without people being rude and just kind of ruining the experience, I mean, that's sort of maybe that's the problem is we don't have enough people that, people that need to say, hey, discipline your children, whose kid is that? So I don't know. But okay, I appreciate the call and all that for correcting me on that because my memory's getting a little fuzzy these days. So I appreciate the call. Let's take another caller. You take care.
Have a good one.
Let's go to the next one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
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 Good morning. Hey, a flashback. Late 70s, like 77, 78 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey, Jack in the Box. Near Thornton High School, favorite place where everybody cut school.
Well, and I remember, like, we were talking about Hardee's. I remember we used to do that, like, I think there was a Hardee's in Cherville, and that's where we all used to hang out. Then it became a Fazoli's. We used to hang out there. So, I mean, same idea, though, is like kids used to go out after school and hang out and go to the mall or whatever they did, and now they all just kind of go home and, I don't know, go on Reddit or something.
We went, everybody was partying out front. And then they got hungry.
Yeah.
Then they all went to Jack in the Box. Nobody went to school for a couple hours. That was the plan back then, Chuck.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, what a time to be alive when we used to all get together and hang out and do stuff. I miss those days. So.
Those were the fun days.
Yeah. Well, okay. Anything else?
And my prediction for the year should be, hopefully, I'm hoping all the whistleblowers call out all the political people on the take, and they become removed from office. I'm really hoping that whistleblowers, the year of the whistleblower, will rid us of this rot we have that. I've always said we're financing our own demise.
Right.
Since I was 15 years old, that's been my line, and it is not more true than today.
No, that would be a nice prediction because again, I mean, we are getting to that point, and again, I don't want to spend a whole another hour talking about the debt, but I mean, it's all there. It's all there. And
too many blackmailed and compromised people.
Well, and I think that's the problem.
They need to be whistle blown out.
Right. I mean, and that's sort of.
And then I believe we'd all get along well.
Right. No, I mean, and I think the Epstein files are a perfect example of that, about how when everybody's on a list, they can make it go away. And you guys can shout Epstein list all day long on Facebook, but at the end of the day, if everybody's on that list and everybody doesn't want to get out, it's not going to get out, you know? And I mean, you can shout, but
Right.
what are we
it
going
has
to do?
to do with laundering of money and other things.
Yeah.
It's not just
No, I think it's
the
much bigger than that.
pedophile
No, you're right.
aspect.
I think that's just a small portion of
And
it.
you
so.
know, there were comments made years back, these drug cartels get busted up, these banks are going to go belly up because that's what they do, laundering, you know.
Oh, yeah, some of the no, I mean, absolutely. And it's sort of one of those things, and you say that, but historically.
Hopefully it all ends this year.
Yeah. No, I mean, historically, that's the case, though. Some of these big banks have ties to all sorts of black markets, and there's really never consequences for it. So, okay, good points. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. She does bring up a good point.
Take care. Have a good one,
Thanks,
Chuck.
you too.
And Bob.
Thanks.
And Lynette. And, okay, so anybody want to chime in? Okay, predictions on the Epstein files while we're here.
It's the top of the hour. Do you want
It's the top. It's 9:04 here in the region. You're listening to AM 1230, 104.7 in beautiful Hammond, Indiana. Why don't we go another half hour? But let's put that on the back burner. I want predictions on the Epstein files and anything else pertaining to that. We'll talk about that and more after this on WJOB.
High school basketball postseason is here, with the girls starting February 3rd and boys March 3rd. Be on every game for as low as $1,500. Sponsor local. Reach millions. Visit heartlandsportsnet.com today for more information. St. Nicholas Byzantine Catholic Church, located at 8103 Columbia Avenue in Munster, celebrates Divine Liturgy every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. We are Eastern Rite Catholics in union with the Pope, the Bishop of Rome. All Catholics who celebrate Divine Liturgy or Mass with us fulfill their Holy Day and Sunday obligations as they do in their own churches. Join us in person this coming Sunday to find out the beauty of a Byzantine Catholic Divine Liturgy at St. Nicholas Church.
But it's kind of, you gotta catch up. Yeah. I'll catch up with you. I'll be right back. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, what's up, boy? Hey, Ryan. Not tonight, man. Not tonight. Oh, yeah. You guys are right. Hey, come on. Let's go. Come in.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
.908 in the region. Let's just, as a reminder, we got a couple of bad traffic spots here in the region. We got 8094 east and westbound. Basically, you've got accidents in the Klein Kennedy Avenue area. So we've got earlier accidents around Klein Avenue east and it sounds like east and westbound. So you've got slow traffic in each direction. Basically, State Line coming that way and Burr coming the other way. So you got slow traffic getting through that area. We also had earlier incidents on I-65. We've got a camper that flipped over because that's a great idea. Take your camper out on a windy, cold day. And so there's a camper on southbound I-65. There's a truck pointed the wrong way on northbound I-65. So basically, 231 in Crown Point down through Lowell. So you've got bad and heavy traffic both directions in the 231 area of I-65. So those are your two trouble spots, 8094 east and westbound at about Klein and 65 north and south from in Crown Point and Lowell. So you've got multiple accidents. Jackknife semis crashing into stuff, campers flipped over, dogs and cats living together, total
mass hysteria.
But the good news is if you're one of those people that's not sitting in traffic and you're sitting in bed home today because it's Martin Luther King Day, we are taking your calls. We are talking about the good old days. Those were the days, as Archie Bunker used to say, and Edith. We're taking your calls at 219-845-1100. We're talking about predictions for the next year. Lynette just said we're all dead. We're dead. Nothing to talk about. We're dead. We're all going to die. It's going to blow up.
Yeah, she had Captain Dark Cloud this morning.
So that was her prediction. Like, we're all dead. So hopefully you've got if you've got something more cheery, we'll take your calls.
I'll be generous and say it's December 19th.
December. We don't even make it.
Celebrate Christmas early.
Bob's
it's not
literally out there
this year.
getting ready for Christmas, and then like an asteroid just lands in his yard and kills us all. Asteroids before Christmas. Fantastic. Okay, let's take a call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Hey, sorry for taking that little cat nap. While I was on hold there, you went a little long. Sorry, my bad.
Dangerous air out there. I understand.
Hey, I got two things for you. Regarding Brad Gimbel's show, instead of, in honor of him being from Kentucky, instead of being called In Bed with Brad, how about just Inbred Brad? Inbred Brad. I think that would be better. And then my prediction for 2026 is that I'm not sure if you've seen the new show on it's either on Netflix or HBO called Heated Rivalry.
No.
You guys know what that's about?
No. What's it about?
You're kidding. You don't know. It's two hockey stars, college hockey stars in the boys' league, and they eventually fall in love with each other. And the women are loving it because I guess these two guys walk around and do everything without their shirts.
So you're calling like, Chuck, have you seen a show on Netflix about hockey? Like, no, he's shocked. I haven't watched a show about hockey on Netflix.
It's not about hockey. It's about gayness. So everybody loves the gayness aspect. These two sculptured guys, start kissing and, touching each other and getting,
So what's your prediction about this?
On each other while in the bedroom.
Okay, so what's the prediction? I got my marker out.
So my prediction is that Jimmy Deedlow stars in the California version, the Berkeley version of Heated Rivalry. Da-da-da. Tip your bartender. You get it?
Okay, I'm writing and signing.
Are you guys awake?
No.
What? Who?
Dangerous air.
No, he's writing it down here.
Well, Lynette gets it, I bet.
No, she's out too.
If it's on the Netflix.
Heated Rivalry?
She only watches shows on TikTok.
A lot of people watch it for the sport.
What's it called?
A lot of people watch it for the sport.
For the sport?
Yep.
Anything else, Madman? They're bringing
80% women are watching a sport about hockey. No, it's the two dudes, man.
Okay.
Oh,
I missed out.
God. You guys
I just watch reruns.
Like
I just watch
when I was sleeping.
Reruns from the 80s personally. I don't watch any new stuff. Okay, anything else?
Right. I'll regroup and call in the morning.
Okay, appreciate the call. I saw yesterday, we were watching the Bears game, that they're bringing back the Burbs. But it's really just, what was that show with all the women on Wisteria Lane? What was that called?
I don't know these things.
Housewives. But it's basically just they're bringing back the Housewives, but they're calling it the Burbs. But So
The Burbs, isn't that the Tom Hanks?
that's a classic Tom Hanks movie, one of my favorites, and they're bringing it back as a sitcom or something. So we'll see how that goes. You know, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic, but we'll see. Okay, anything else? Anybody else? We've got like 15 more. Why don't we go 15 more minutes or whatever? If anybody wants to call 845-1100.
No. They're dropping off. The YouTube viewers dropping off. You've trained them to leave at 9 o'clock.
No, that's fine. Like I said, this is the after party. This is the after show.
We need sound effects.
I was thinking about bringing back the soundboard.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, we're going to get you a little a sound thing there, so you can just press the buttons.
That's
we're
what every morning show had a MIDI, like a keyboard, and you have all different sound effects.
Yeah, because we need applause and boos.
Oh, I made one. I just haven't brought it up in a while.
Oh.
We'll have to get that set up. There's a keyboard for that. We could put little icons on there. Okay, so Bob, what else? There was stuff that we were going to talk about, like when you were gone, and you're like, and I forget what it was now.
Oh no, the only thing I was on a soapbox was that stupid redistricting thing. That was the only thing that I had issues with. And I didn't even have issues with it. I had issues with the fact that, and I'm looking at the camera and I'm pointing, wagging the finger. All we heard for 2 months here in Indiana was that this is the end of the world. This is the worst thing that could ever happen. How could you do this? Then they do it in Virginia. And not once on any of the pages that I follow has anybody said anything about it. It's like, oh, well, our folks did it, so it's okay.
Well, it's like I said about California, is that Governor Newsom comes out and said, what Texas is doing is an affront to democracy, and we're going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We're going to have a referendum. So it's like, okay, well, so again, here's the question. Do you think this whole Bears discussion is going to end up the same way? It's going to be the biggest thing ever for like another 2 weeks, and then we're never talking about it again.
I wouldn't mind seeing it in Hammond. I mean, how it's funded. There's probably a dozen different ways out there. The taxpayers are going to get stuck holding the.
Well, you saw the plan, though. I mean, the plan is basically we're going to buy it, we're going to pay for it, like we're going to do everything, and eventually we're going to give it to the Bears. It's like, but we are going to be on the hook for all of it up front, and they will pay no taxes. I mean, it's whenever we come up with it's like any bad idea that Chicago has, we somehow make it worse. And I mean, that's the problem. It's like if they were to come in and pay their fair share and pay taxes and all this stuff, I could see it. But it's like, we're just going to roll out the red carpet. Whatever you need, we're going to open the checkbook. We're going to buy the land. We're going to build the stadium. You're not going to pay taxes. It's going to be the sweetest of sweetheart deals just so we can say we got the Bears. I mean, like what do we ultimately get out of it? I mean, that's the question.
Well, and it's extremely disingenuous when we have a state government that is cutting funding for local municipalities to be able to pave roads and improve infrastructure.
They're canceling rebuilding bridges.
Yeah,
like, we don't have the money to rebuild that bridge, but the Bears, man, we got that $1 billion for you.
Oh, I mean, the CCMG grant that every town up here should be maxing out, $1 million, $1.5 million, whatever the threshold is each year, and half of them aren't getting it now.
And
why? Because we're broke. We're so broke we can't help you pave roads, even though the money that we're broke from is the money that comes in from the taxes, the gas tax, wheel tax. We've got all that. And I'm not talking local. I'm talking the state government.
And so every year, most municipalities get this grant, and you use it to repave. Like basically, you could do a whole neighborhood in some cases. I mean, I don't know if you do it by the mile or how you guys calculate that, but you do. I mean, and if you get that grant every year, and you use it every year, and you repave every year, you basically keep up with your maintenance at that point. You keep, at the end of the day, what do I want? I'm paying taxes, and what do I want from Councilman Bob? I want my leaves picked up. I want clean water. I want the streets, like the little things that I want, we're not getting. But then, hey, we got the money for the Bear Stadium and all this other silly stuff. So I mean, okay. There is something else. I guess we should bring it up because a couple people have asked me to talk about it, and I wanted to wait and get your take on it. So a couple people have been very rabid to talk about the Reaper's Realm situation. Are you up to date on so here? We know that
the city of Hammond took Reapers. They took the land. They said we want to do something different here. We want a sit down restaurant. We want a hotel. We want to redevelop this land into something different. So my understanding originally was that they were going to take the land and do something with it. Now people are telling me and pointing out to me that they've essentially taken the land, which again, Reapers Realm's been there like 35 years, whatever it was. The building's been there for decades. They've taken the land through eminent domain, and now we're putting it for sale to sell it for somebody else to develop.
Right.
So I want to ask, and you can put on whatever hat you want. You can put on your Bob hat. You can put on your councilman hat, whatever, that this is my concern, even going back to the train and eminent domain and creep, where we talk about eminent domain is, hey, we need to take your house to build a highway. It's for the greater good. And then eminent domain became, hey, we're going to take your house and build a mall, like happened in Connecticut. And there was even rumors that somebody's going to lose a house to build a dog park. And here in the region, 145 people lost homes to build the train. And now we're creeping into this realm where it feels like, and again, I could be totally wrong, and anybody from Hammond is welcome to come on in the future and talk about it if I'm getting this wrong, is that Hammond has basically decided we don't like the business that's there. We think that somebody else could come in and do better. So we're not taking it because we have a plan. We're not taking it to build a highway or whatever. We're just taking it. We're just taking it and hoping that something better comes along. And it feels to me like that is an affront to the eminent domain process to basically say, so again, this becomes the question, like, could Councilman Starkey go, hey, I don't like Stardust Bowling Alley and Dyer. We could do something. We could put the Trader Joe's over there. So I'm just going to take the Stardust and hope that Trader Joe's or somebody comes and buys that property. I mean, to me, that's an affront to the eminent domain process. Thoughts?
A couple thoughts. One, I absolutely love Stardust Bowling.
Who doesn't? I grew up there. Used to bowl there all the time. I'm using it as an example. It's a piece of real estate. Pick a
Oh, I know. But since you said it, I am going to hype something.
Okay.
Saturday, February 21st is Bowl with a Firefighter at the Dyer Stardust, and the proceeds from that go to Project Fire Buddies. Give the Dyer Fire Department a call. Check it out on their Facebook page. And so you open that up. So here's my story with that. I have zero clue about what's going on with Reapers Row.
Right, that's fair.
But let me give you an example of how this happened in Dyer. The intersection of 30 and Hart Street, where the CVS is right now.
Right.
So for years there was nothing there. I think there was a house. 40 years ago there were businesses there, and then they shuttered. So there was a house.
Well, Route 30 took a lot of that.
The expansion 30. But back to that corner, there was 6 or 7 different property owners, just the way that property was platted. And so what the town did is the town went in, because no developer was going to then attempt to package that all together.
Right.
So the town went in, and this was before my time, but I agree with what they did. They bought those properties, combined them, and then resold them as a development deal.
But there was not active business there. I mean,
Correct. So that's why I don't necessarily know what's going on with Reaper's Realm, so I don't know all of the back logistics behind that. Is it possible that parcel of land was subdivided in 13 different ways, and a developer did want to come in and want to put these things? They say, hey, we can't do this unless it's one thing. So maybe Hammond, I don't know. I'm just saying that is what I have seen, and that's how we got that CVS up there in Dyer.
So, but my point is that now you're getting into the realm of government picking and choosing, basically saying, we don't want the haunted house, just like you could say we don't want the bowling alley, or we don't, like, you can come in. Is it the place of government to say, hey, there is a business here, it's a family business, been here for 30 years, but I think something better could be here. To me, that is not the place of government to pick and choose. Or you say, hey, we've got the auction house, we've got a car dealership or whatever. I'm just going to start taking businesses that I think could be something better. And in the off chance that somebody, I understand we're widening 30, we're building a highway, we're doing whatever. It's another thing to pick and choose and say, I don't like that business. I don't like the look of that business. That haunted house looks like a haunted house.
Right.
I don't like it. I don't like that being the first thing you see when you come to Indiana. So I'm going to take it and hopefully something else comes along. I think that is an affront, and that again, that's not the way that government should operate. So, but that's my opinion on it. And I wanted to get your thoughts, because I think that's dangerous territory to start picking and choosing like that. I think there's a line at which government says, you can't say, and again, this is a question for you as a councilman. Like something comes in, let's say somebody wanted to open a strip club in Dyer. Or you say, hey, look, we want to get rid of the fireworks stores in Dyer, so we're gonna eminent domain all the fireworks stores and hope something else comes along. Or the smoke shops or whatever. We've all decided we don't like smoking, so we're going to eminent domain the smoke shops and then hope something else comes. That's not the place of government to pick and choose winners like that, winners and losers. So, again, I feel like, and again, I say that as somebody who went to Reaper's Row my entire life, took my kids there, had lots of memories there, just like Celebration Station or anything else. It's like, is this the way that this is going to work? We're going to take everything unique away and turn it into a Chili's. Again, another thing that bothers me about local government. So why don't we take our call and then we'll wrap up for the day. So good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Chuck, is that just sour grapes on your part between you and that guy in charge in Hammond?
Is it? Is it? It could be my bias showing, but again, I feel like this is dangerous territory to start saying, hey, I don't like that business. I know they've been here 30 years. I know it's family run. I know it's local, employs all kids and, all this stuff, and you pay taxes. I don't like your business. I don't like that business. I don't like the look of that business. Ergo, I'm going to take it and hope somebody else comes, Chili's and a hotel comes. Is that the place of government?
Chuck, what do you expect from that guy?
Better. I expect better. I expect better is what I expect. Go ahead.
Does it take a brick to fall on your head, son?
What bothers?
How much did we spend on that bridge? My question: how much did we spend on that bridge down there?
$6.6 million.
How much is that being utilized?
$6.6 million, and they took a church in the process, right next door to Reaper's Row.
And how much traffic does that get?
I would love it if you and Bob joined me on a Saturday morning with some lawn chairs and help me count. I would love that. If anybody wants to come out with me, just start picking bridges and let's count some traffic. I would love to do that when the weather gets nicer. No joke. And we can count.
Let me give you another example.
I've seen like 3 people use it. If you're asking, so go ahead.
Okay. All right. Where in your mind would you pick a failing superintendent and then push him for county council?
Again, yeah. Valid point.
Where maybe you could ask MX to give us the numbers on the debt in that city you're questioning.
200 plus million according to MX. If he's listening, he can send me a message. But again, my point is, elections.
I'm not done, Chuck.
Go ahead.
Chuck,
Carry
I'm
on.
not done.
Go ahead.
Why would you expect anything intelligent out of a mayor that represents 70,000 people and wants to put the governor on blast in public and think he's doing any good for his city? Like I said, Chuck, does it take a brick to fall on your head?
But then a month later, he needs the governor because he wants the stadium. But again, I have to be careful because I don't want to start a whole war and have a whole article about me and all this stuff. So I want to be careful and just say that is my observation. And my other observation, as I was saying, is elections have consequences and people choose their leadership. But I'm just making an observation as somebody who has gone to that business for 30 years of my life and Again, it's part of our Halloween tradition is to go to Reaper's Realm and take the kids there. This idea that government is picking and choosing and going, oh, I don't like the look of that business. I don't like what you're doing. Is that to me is an affront to the spirit of government, and it is a slippery slope to the point where, Bob's council could start saying, hey, we don't like smoke shops and liquor. What if Bob said we don't like liquor stores? We're going to start eminent domaining all the liquor stores in Dyer. And hopefully churches move in. You know what I mean? Again, at what point do we go, no, that's not how this works? The leader of a town doesn't get to decide, oh, I don't like people who smoke, ergo, I'm going to take all the smoke shops. That's not how this works. And the fact that people can do that with no consequences is the part that bothers me the most.
Well, let's go through the archives in his defense. What did he promise us as local taxpayers he was going to do with that corner? What did he promise us?
They said they needed a sit-down restaurant in that district, right? Is that my understanding? We desperately need another restaurant, so we're going to take this business and hope a restaurant and or hotel move in so that this exit looks like every other exit between here and New York.
Again, Chuck, I don't know why you'd expect anything more from this guy.
I don't, but I would hope for more of the people. I'd hope the people would say, wait, you can't do that. There was pushback from the council. I saw that. I was glad to see that. But again, this idea that we're just taking things and there's really no resistance is the part that bothers
me. Hey, I got one more example for you.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also bosom buddies with the current sheriff? Tightest ticks they were.
Right, okay.
The guy that's been accused of misappropriating over $300,000 while in office.
Right.
Basically his fifth incident since he's been in office.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Hey, Starkey.
Yep.
Nickel's worth of free advice.
What's that?
And I believe the best in you. I really do as a council member. But as you can see from the example I've just given you, when you call somebody your friend, make sure you choose good friends.
Well, you are the company you keep and whatnot. So appreciate the call. We got to wrap up. We got to go do other stuff. So I appreciate the call. All good points. And that will be our last call of the day as we wrap up. Any final thoughts, Bob or Lynette, as we go?
I've got nothing. It was fun coming back with you, Chuck.
Wasn't it fun? I can't wait to hear you on Friday. I can't wait.
I don't know that I'm on Friday.
You don't know?
No.
I'll
show up.
Maybe Lynette will be called in on Friday. Like, hey, Lynette, this is how it happens, Lynette. Dito just calls you and says you're on Friday. You're like, what?
It's usually just Joe asking me to cover for him.
Well, no, I'm saying he'll just have you host. Like, you're hosting on Friday. Oh, okay. Maybe it'll be you and Bob on Friday. Who knows? Could be anything. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. That's the magic of WGOB is anything could happen.
I will say I will bring in a space heater on Friday if it's this cold.
It might short out the transmitter if you do.
Well,
we have a heater in the producer's office.
That must be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I appreciate everyone calling in. We had fun as always. I hope you guys enjoyed your time. Stay off 65 and 8094 if you can. I'll be back next week. Will Bob be back? We'll see. Will he back on Friday? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the Lynette and Bob show on Monday. Who knows? Anything could happen here on WGLB. What I do know is you'll have a whole week of different hosts. You have Verley tomorrow, Tom Dabberton checking in from Florida on Wednesday, Lynette's favorite show of the week. You have all kinds of stuff. I don't even what is Thursdays now? Did they decide, or is it just whoever's coming in? Do we know?
I think Thursdays is just Jim.
It's just Jim. Oh, he does a show. Okay, he does one day a week.
It's called Just Jim.
Just Jim on Thursdays.
Jim.
We got to just start making signs for that. Okay, and then it'll be a surprise, Friday surprise to see who's here filling the seats on Friday.
I will probably be here Friday.
Okay, well, cool. I mean,
and I say that because nobody's said no yet.
You're just going to show up.
Yeah.
You say, I was not told not to show up.
I was not told not to show up.
I was not told
as my phone will be ringing off the hook in a second. Do not show up.
Do not show up on Friday. So, okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back more than likely next Monday. We'll see how that goes. So, appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week for the winter of Chuck's Discontent here on WGOB.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation.